This content is brought to you by Lair magazine. Are you a busy dungeon master without enough time to create content for your D&D game? Would you like professional, pre-made 5th edition adventures and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? If so, Lair magazine has exactly what you need. Every issue of Lair magazine comes with 2 5th edition adventures, maps designed for use on virtual tabletops, and other dungeon master resources. New monsters, puzzles, traps, magic items, NPCs, pre-made encounters, and more. Become a DM Lair patron today to get a new issue of Lair magazine every month, along with loads of bonus content, such as additional 5th edition adventures and map packs with even more digital maps. DM Lair patrons also get extra perks, such as playing in D&D games with me, voting on the videos I make, access to my VIP Discord channel, a monthly video hangout over Zoom, and more. Click that link below to learn more and become a DM Lair patron today. Right. Hey, we're finally here. How's everybody doing? How's everyone doing? I had a wonderful time about a half an hour ago. Guess what I did? I'm a moron. I'm the world's stupidest human being. Let me tell you what smart idea I had. So I'm getting ready for the live stream, right? And I'm getting, OBS going. I'm getting all this stuff. And I'm getting my Go XLR going. It's an audio mixer for stuff, for streaming mostly. And so Go XLR comes up and it's like, yo, hey, would you like to update the app? There's a new app available, an app update. And I'm just like, okay, that should be fine. I update the app. And then it's like thinking. There's a new firmware update. Would you like to update the firmware? And I'm just like, okay, this is sounding worse by the moment. Holy crap. But I already started down that tunnel, down that funnel of death, right? And I'm like, okay, fine. And then so it's updating the firmware, and it's like you got to restart your computer. And I'm like, I'm not restarting my computer. And so I just, closed it and tried to start Go XLR app again. Nope, not working. Nothing works. Restart my computer. Okay, fine. There you go. You're gonna reinstall it. Oh yeah. And so now it it didn't do anything. And I'm like, what's going on? I try to open it. I get some error message. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? And so I'm like, okay. Reinstall it. Just uninstall, reinstall it. Fix everything. So I reinstall Go XLR app on my computer. And I open it up and it's working. And of course it prompts me to update the app. Apparently the fresh download that came off from the company's website is not the most recent version. And so it still prompted me to update. And I'm like, no, thank you, goodbye. And I did not do that. Okay, so then at that point, I'm like, okay, we should be okay. So I go over to OBS and I notice that my audio is not coming over into OBS. And in order to hook up your Go XLR and OBS and your Windows, your computer system and everything, there's a bunch of settings you have to manipulate inside Windows audio settings and in OBS itself. And this is something that you only do like once a year, maybe, when something catastrophic like this today happens. And so you don't remember what those are, of course. And so I'm like, crap, I don't know what those settings were. One of these settings probably got messed up somehow with my reinstalling bullcrap. And so then I had to go find the video on YouTube that explains how to set the things up. And so I went and found that video, and then I set the stuff up. And then it's just a couple little drop downs that I had to select properly, and then it works. And I'm just like, yay. So that was my 30-minute mad, frantic scramble to fix stuff because I am stupid. Like you never update apps when you need to use it for something. It's like, I have a live stream that starts in a half an hour. There could be no harm in updating this app right now. You're a moron, Luke. Anyway, I gotta get some coffee. Oh, baby. Now, Luke, what did we learn? Hello, Danny. Good to see you. Luke learned not to be a moron. Don't play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Yeah. All right. So anyway, hello, folks. Who else we got? James Wren, what's up, dude? Amber S, how you doing? Nye 4747, yo, how long will you be live? About 3 hours. Nixit, what's up, dude? How you doing? Kirian Henderson, hello. What's up? Kat, yo. Trace, hello. Eric from Phoenix. It's always good to know where you're from. You know, if I'm ever confused, it's like, oh, he's from Phoenix. Okay, I know, that's good. Eric says, Luke, you aren't a moron. Made a bad decision, but not a moron. That's my way of just like making fun of myself, you know. It's my way of poking fun at myself, and you know. Red shirt, hello. Okay, yes, red shirt, dude. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I found this useful. Take screenshots of your OBS settings when you get them perfect, dude. I'm gonna do that for all the settings I had to manipulate today, and I'm literally, I was thinking of this right after I fixed it, and I was, you know, putting my hair stuff in and my makeup and everything so I look pretty. I was literally like, okay, I'm gonna make an emergency folder that literally says, Luke, when you screw up your audio settings, do this. And then I'm gonna have screenshots of the different things I have to change. I'm literally gonna do that. That was my thought. That way I don't have to go watch a video to find like the 2 things that I gotta fix. So yeah. Leighton West, hello, what's up? Merku, yo, what up? BG33, yo. Michael Sains. Mountain time, nice. It's 4:20. What does that mean? Oh, yeah, it's early. Okay, cool, awesome, welcome. Goliath Cleric, hello. Waffles, what's up, Waffles? How you doing, buddy? We need some syrup around here. That's all right. I make fun of your name. I should be kind and considerate. I should be respectful and tame and open and accepting and welcoming. I'm sorry. Your name's Waffles, dude. We're gonna ask for syrup. It's what's gonna happen. Sven, hello. How you doing? Dude, you are very welcome, Sven. I'm very happy to help with those. Sven is talking about the free resources that we have on the dmlair.com. We have tons of Game Master resources out there. Free adventures, traps, puzzles, monsters, a whole bunch of stuff on my website that we publish 100% free for people. And you're very welcome, dude. We actually pay people to make those for us so that we can put them out there for you guys for free. So yeah, and we have really good people that write that crap. So yeah. Very, very good stuff. You're very welcome, dude. It's one of the things like one of the things I enjoy doing, that I like to do, because I want there to be free resources as well for people. And obviously we have our premium resources like Lair magazine that you have to pay for because it's a premium resource. So obviously there's always going to be paid stuff, but free stuff is good too. Owen, what's up, dude? How you doing? Jacob Colberholm, hello. Clobber, do we call you Clobber? You know, Clobber is I love the word clobber. It reminds me of the comic books where you have the what is it, the Fantastic Four, and then there's the yellow rocket dude, the yellow rock dude. What is he, the Thing or something? I don't know what he's called. The yellow rock dude. He always is like, I hear the word clobber and I'm reminded of that guy, and I don't know why. I don't know if he uses that word or not, but anyway, it reminds me of him. The Thing? Is he the Thing? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't watch a whole lot of Fantastic Four. I don't read comics and stuff, so I was just going on a limb there. It's clobbering time. That's literally his tagline, isn't it? Yeah, that's his tagline. Okay, that's why I remember that. Okay, cool. See, I know a couple things. I'm educated enough. All right, we should do this. All right. Ooh. Okay, I gotta push some buttons here. I think we just do this button here. All right, see, my whole game has been thrown off. All right, yay, welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we have a fantastic show lined up for you. I'm just gonna sit here and answer your questions. That's pretty much it. I might show you some pictures of my cats. I have a new dog. The dog is right here. She's looking at me like, why are you pointing at me? Anyway, we have a little tiny dog. Might put the dog on camera, you know. So yeah, that's it. We're just gonna hang out and have fun tonight. It's Friday. I'm so happy it's Friday. Holy crap, it's 2 days without having to think about my day job. Who else feels that way? It's like, it's, woo! Yeah, I have a dog now. Yay. All right, we do have a couple things going on tonight. We are doing a giveaway. We pretty much always do a giveaway. Link in the chat. You can get in on the giveaway. We'll draw the winner tonight. Basically, it's a D&D book of your choice, or you can get store credit to the DM Lair store. We have the PDF version of Into the Fae available on the DM Lair store. We have back issues of Lair magazine. We have standalone adventures. We have map packs, digital maps that you can use in your online games. Lots of cool stuff over there as well. So get in on the giveaway. You click a link, you click a couple things, and then I draw the winner at the end. It's pretty simple. So giveaways going on. We are continuing to raise money for our charity of choice, which is Canines for Warriors. There's a link in the chat as well. Canines for Warriors is basically what they do is they take dogs from what they're considered high kill shelters. They rescue these dogs that would have otherwise probably been euthanized, and they rehabilitate them. I train them, I suppose. I'm assuming they do, because they become service dogs that then go toward veterans who are suffering from PTSD or other mental ill stuff going on there. So they provide service dogs for veterans. So very, very, very cool. I love that crap. I love helping our veterans and all that stuff. I'm a big supporter of that stuff. We've done things for Stack Up before. We did another veteran thing, didn't we? What was the other veteran thing we raised money for recently? I don't know. We do a few of them, but right now we're doing Canines for Warriors. So link in the chat right there. Our goal is to get $500 for them, and we're getting close. Like that little bar, that little bar right there indicates our progress, and I think we're around 180 or so. The bar is very small on my monitor, so I think we're somewhere around there. But once we get to 500, we will be throwing them a big donation from the DM Lair community. So if you would like to contribute, you're welcome to do so, and I appreciate it. Let's see what else we got here. All right, we need to do our patron shout outs. Woo! All right, so you're gonna see a whole bunch of wonderful names on stream. These are my awesome patrons that help support everything we do around here. Remember I was talking about before how I offer free resources on my website, thedmlair.com, for people that they can use in their games. My patrons help me to be able to do that. They also help me to be able to make YouTube videos for you, do these live streams, and all the other cool stuff that we do. So very, very deeply appreciative to my patrons. The other thing that my patrons do, and they get, is Lair magazine. So one of the things we publish out to our patrons every month. It's a pretty decent sized PDF with 5th edition adventures in it, traps, puzzles, resources, all very, very well professionally written and reviewed. I have a team. Ed, I don't think Ed's here tonight. He is our lead developer that reviews things. Goliath Cleric's one of our lead writers. Danny's the lead writer. Penguin Butt's our project manager. So we have a team of people. I thought I saw Mr. Owl here too. He's one of our editors as well. Oh, Goliath Cleric does editing for us too. And then I have like there's like a layout and design guy who does the actual PDFs. He's like a graphic designer. You know, we have a whole team of people that produce this thing. So it's very, very cool. Anyway, patrons get that every month. So yeah. And all right, this list right here. Oh my gosh, this is so hard to read. It's so small for me. These folks here get a shout out because they give me more money and they support everything we do at a higher level. So I'm deeply appreciative. So I read their names and I mispronounce about half of them, and I do apologize for that. So here we go. This is always the fun part of the night. 5e Magic Shop, Aerospatial, Alex H, Alex T, Amanda W, Ambers, Andrew M, Andy S, Anthony M, Antoine B, Arutha, Baldman, Benjamin B, Blinking Duck, Brad A, Brandon, Brenda A, Kellis, Celestina K, Chase O, Chris and Michael K, Michelle K, Chris C, Chris E, Cody B, Colton T, Connor A, Contrary Gravy, Corey S, Damage Dice, Drexus, Dresna, Dutch, Ed R, Edward L, Ericos, Frog, Goliath Cleric, Gravy Chorn, Gru Munder H, Ian F, Iron Lord 79, It's Beoban, Izzy T, Jacob S, Jake L, Jacob K, James L, Jens K, Jeremy W, Jessica J, Joe L, John A, Joku W, Joseph H, Josh Esh, Joshua M, Justin P, KLS, KK, Keith L, Kevin F, Kevin O, Kezides Kirby, Kyle G, Kyle M, Labroworks, Leopold X92, Leonhart, Lodwick B, Mark T, Matt N, Mr. Loncanoe, Mr. T, Neo, Nikita S, O and D, Paul H, Paul Penguin Butt, PRP, published author, Radiance Guardians, Ramus, Raslick, Race W, Renner C, Rob M, Robert C, Robin O, Ron R, Ronald, Ryan, Sakura, Scott F, Shane L, Snapdragon, Son of Sofa Man, Solnia, Status Alive, Stephen T, Stephen T? I don't know, it's a PH. What are you gonna do? Stephen A, Tactical Tokens, Talking Napkin, The Three Quarters Hospital, The Old DM, The Pickle, The Casual Nerd, The New Bad Hombre, Thomas T, Tiger 500, Tim Black, Tom C, Tony M, Travelin' Cash, Tristan W, Tyler R, Vincent G, Will M, X Drum, Zoot. Yes, thank you very much. Penguin Butt says, Luke, you messed up my name. What do you want me to do? I've got all this pressure. I got all this pressure. Look at it. I got all these cats are staring at me. I can't deal with this sort of pressure. They're just sitting there. They just want something from me. I know they do. They only come here for treats. It's like an abusive relationship. They're just using me for the food that I give them. 1 minute, 55 seconds. Yeah, I no longer try to keep it under a minute. I used to try, and then I gave up. And I was like, there's no way. There's like 120 people in that list I have to read. And yeah, like I'm not going to get through that in under a minute. That's just not happening. Not with my penchant for mispronouncing everything. Ian McCurdy, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? Yes, happy to have you here, man. First time. Let's set the expectations. I'm not as clever as I sometimes appear to be in my videos. Yeah, I really just kind of do dumb stuff on stream, and that's what makes it fun. Michael says my Chihuahua is the same way, except all he wants from me is warmth. I have a Chihuahua. I have a Chihuahua right here. She's sitting here in her bed, sleeping right now. Yeah, I might trot her out at some point. I just took her out for a potty break. Now she's like calm and sleeping, so we'll leave her there for a little bit. If you behave, if chat behaves, and Penguin Butt will let me know, then maybe we'll show the Chihuahua at the first break. Yeah. Gavin Rocker says, been binging your advice videos for the past 3 days. Glad I could finally catch a stream. Well, welcome, dude. Thank you for binging my videos. I appreciate that. It's, you know, it's just, it makes YouTube happy. YouTube's like, hey! Luke, we need the dog. The X-Man, what's up, dude? Use the coffee cam. We want to see the dog. Oh, use the coffee cam? You want to see the dog? You got it, dude. Here we go. Coffee cam! Woo! You can see dog hair in the coffee. That's the glimpse of the dog that you get. Yeah. All right. Let's hit some questions up. Mr. Gore says, are your dogs and cats rescues? Yeah, pretty much. Every single one of my cats was a stray. Was actually, all the cats that we have are the results of 2 cats that we took in as strays that were pregnant. Oh, and then there was another cat we took in as a stray. So yes, all the cats we have were stray cats that ended up being pregnant and then gave us more cats. And then the dog that we have right now, our new Chihuahua, was not being taken care of very well by her former family. And then her owner was getting on in years and ended up going into hospice and stuff, and she could no longer even be with the animal. And her son apparently did not treat the animal very well. And so we got her, and she was a mess, and we took care of her a little bit and all that kind of stuff. And she's doing a lot better now. It was crazy. Her nails were just like, she could barely walk. I'm just like, what is this crap? Dog. Anyway, it's a story. But yes, it was a rescue. And she's doing much better now. Now she gets excited. She's like, she loves going outside. Are
Are you going to have dog D&D content like your cat shirts, or is that through another store? I'm not sure what the other store reference is. I don't know. I like dogs, but I'm not like a big dog person. I really like cats. I've always wanted a little dog though. Well, let's not say always. I would say probably for about the last 6 months or so, or roughly, I wanted to get a small dog because they're very good, like home defense animals, because they will just bark at stuff. You know, if somebody's like breaking into your house or something, they will just bark the crap out and wake you up and alert you to danger, and then you can go to your little safe by your bed and get yourself ready. You know. So I've wanted a dog for a little bit here, just so because of the home defense advantage to having a little dog, you know. And so now we have a little Chihuahua, and hopefully she'll bark at bad guys and let us know when it's time to go to the safe. Yes, cats are just gonna be there. My cats especially will just run and hide. They're not even gonna watch the burglar. They're just gonna be like, whoop, under the couch. Joshua, you have a dog that never barks at anything? Oh, that's not good. I need this dog to bark. Just at stuff that should be barked at. Not like everything, you know, but the things that need to get barked at need to get barked at. Oh, we got some messages being deleted. It has begun. It has begun. These cats are all staring at me. It's beautiful. What do you think about torches in dungeons? All right, let me tell you about torches in dungeons. Let me tell you a thing or two about torches in dungeons and how absolutely stupid they are. But to illustrate my point, let's do an illustration time. I've been reading this module right here because I'm Icewind Dale, because I'm hoping to run it for a group that has yet to begin. And I actually found a place in here that I read it, and I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. On the topic of torches and dungeons, I got to get some stuff moved around a little bit. And I'm going to go to the coffee cam for a little bit of illustration here. And I'm going to have to lower standby coffee cam. Oh, that's the cat cam. Coffee cam. Gotta lower my gain is up too high. It's too bright. You can't read it. Okay, there we go. This is what I want to point out right here. This is talking about a castle. It's the Keep at Caer Dineval. And this is something that I have noticed several times thus far reading this module. And they do this. This is what they do. Right here, page 40, toward the top of the right-hand column. It says, most of the castle is lit by torches, regardless of the time of day. Most of the castle is lit by torches, regardless of the time of day. This is something that absolutely infuriates me about fantasy games and writing and stuff, is that they always want to have things lit by torches. They imagine a world where torches are throughout these castles or the inhabitation. Like there are like, you know, torch holders on the wall and torches are there and they're burning. And so you can just walk through these castles fully illuminated by torches, just as though you were in a modern home walking through it illuminated by normal lighting. And why does this annoy the crap out of me, might you say? Well, I mean, let's ignore for the fact that having an open torch just burning is a fire hazard. Let's just forget about that. Let's not worry too much about that. Let's forget about how big of a deal fires were, and you know, don't worry about that. Let's just put that aside. How about the fuel consumption? How about that? A torch. How long is a torch gonna last? So like an actual torch, maybe let's say that it's like wrapped with some sort of like rags or something that has some pitch or oil on it, something on it that's going to cause it to burn, right? And then you got to light that up. How long is that going to last? 15 minutes? I don't know, a half an hour? And so you have these all throughout the dungeon, all over the place. And every torch is going to last a short amount of time. And so you're going through tons of fuel, lighting the entire dungeon. And so you're going to have an army of servants constantly walking throughout this entire dungeon, changing out the torches. Like they have wheelbarrows, they're rolling it around, you know, full of torches, full of like oil and pitch or whatever else they would use on these things. And they're just wheelbarrowing around nonstop 24/7 because remember, it's lit day and night. The entire castle is lit day and night by torches. So servants wheelbarrowing around, torches, replacing them, setting them back on fire, constantly, constant fuel consumption going on. That's pretty considerable. So whoever's doing that has some serious money to be doing that, I would think. The other thing to consider too is, well, let us think about what happens when you burn a torch. Now we're not talking about the torches we see in the movies. If you look at the torches in the movies, these things burn so clean, it's not even funny because they have some special new technology stuff, oils and I don't know, butane, or they got some crazy stuff going on where you literally have a torch and there are no fumes. There's no smoke or anything. It's just the cleanest burning thing you'd ever seen in the world. Has anybody done something stupid like leave their chimney flue closed and then started a fire in their chimney? I did this once. I'm a smart person. I got a fire set up. I got all the wood set up in my chimney and I got the fire going. And the fire, it goes. And then I saw that every chimney has a flue on it, where that's where the smoke goes out. And there's usually a way to close it so you don't have like cold air and a draft in your house. And so when you're not using your chimney, you close that flue. Well, you're supposed to open it before you start the fire. I forgot to open it. It was insane how quickly smoke started to fill the house. Like it was very, very fast, crazy fast. And I'm like scrambling to get something because the flames are high. I couldn't just reach up there. I was going to get burned. I was scrambling to open this thing up, but the smoke accumulated very, very fast. So can you imagine if you had a castle full, or it could be an underground cave system. It could be anywhere in D&D that they always put these torches that are burning day and night, apparently. Can you imagine how quickly that inhabitation, that castle, that enclosed area is going to get full and filled up with smoke? And even if you have windows and stuff that are open, it's still going to accumulate toward the ceiling. You're still going to have that going on. So that's a problem. So torches burning all of the time in a medieval fantasy game is probably not super realistic. It's probably not going to work very well. And yet we see it in all the writing, probably because they watch a lot of movies and don't do enough research. I don't know. Okay, so then what would you do? If torches are so crazy, Luke, and you have a fuel consumption problem and they're filling the place up with smoke, well, what would you do then? Well, let's see. How about two things? First thing, let me ask you a question. When your electricity goes out at your house and you can't see it all in your house, do you immediately go and get your backpack full of flashlights, 50 different flashlights, and turn on all of the flashlights and place them throughout your entire house? So you got a couple flashlights in your living room, you have a flashlight in your bathroom, and they're on. Flashlight in your bathroom is on, the flashlight in the hallway is on, there's a couple flashlights in the kitchen. Let's put a flashlight out in the garage just in case. You got some flashlights up in the bedrooms. You got flashlights, about 50 of them, let's say, turned on throughout your entire house. Flashlights everywhere, turned on. You don't do that, do you? What do you do? What would you do? Any sane, rational person in a dark house would probably take a flashlight with them. If they need a light source, the light source travels with them. Because there's no reason to light parts of the house that you're not currently inhabiting. So you take the flashlight with you to light up parts of the house. Now, sure, if you have a very common area like the living room, you might put some sort of light source there, like a candle that just stays there because you're constantly there. Maybe. But all the rest of the parts of the house, you're just going to take a light source with you. So I submit to you that in times where you have fuel consumption things and smoke and stuff like that, that you wouldn't be just lighting up your entire dungeon, your entire castle with torches, nor even with something more realistic like a candle or an oil lantern. Instead, you would be taking your light source with you. So it wouldn't be a torch, most likely. It would probably be a candle enclosed in glass, perhaps, maybe a chandelier with the candles on top of it. But then, of course, you have wind. Wind is the thing. Maybe not quite so much in an enclosed area. Those tend to be stuffier and have less drafts and stuff, but wind is still a thing. So you probably want to enclose it in glass or something so that wind isn't going to snuff it out. Or you have an oil lantern, which of course is run by oil, which is going to, the fuel's going to last a little bit longer, perhaps. And it's enclosed by glass as well. And so you're protecting it from wind. You can take it with you. It reduces the fire hazard, perhaps, if it's enclosed. So you're going to take your light source with you. Absolutely. You're not gonna waste resources lighting the entire castle. It's insane. You wouldn't do that. And the second thing that I alluded to as well is that you would probably use different types of resources to light your dungeon, to light your castle. Candles and oil lamps and stuff like that are probably much more realistic than big old torches that are burning. Yeah, probably not gonna happen. So that's what I think about torches in lots of D&D writing. It's ridiculous. And you see it in video games too, torches lining the walls. Like, none of this stuff is like historical. It's completely ahistorical. And it's mostly, in my opinion, based on what people see in Hollywood movies, where they have clean burning torches lighting things because I think it's cool. Which, by the way, is also the same reason that we have studded leather armor in D&D. Studded leather armor never existed. It's a Hollywood invention. More than likely, what they actually had was brigandine plates, metal plates that were affixed to leather, and then there were little studs that showed through. That's where they attached the metal plates to the leather, and then you had a little stud. But people see leather and studs, and they think studded leather armor. Woo! Thank you, Hollywood. Thank you, Hollywood. And yet, we see all of those completely ahistorical things persisting through our writing. I have finished my rant. Thank you. Brigadine? Yeah, I'm probably saying it wrong. I'm probably mispronouncing it. That's what I'm trying to say. Black Rabbit's like, take a deep breath. I feel better now. Waffles says, sassy torchbearer NPCs are a meme in my campaign. Mem or meme? I don't know. I hate those things. Danny says people really want to catch hands today. I don't know what that means. People doing bad. People being bad? Are people being bad? How would you make a brigandine rule set for D&D? Oh, I have no idea. It should just be a type of armor. But there are lots of types of armor that probably aren't represented in the rule books, which is fine. They're just rule books. The intention isn't, if you try to be too realistic with the rules that you put in the book, the game becomes unplayable. So there's got to be a balance. So I'm not saying that you need to have like every possible piece of armor represented with proper armor class. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. It just annoys me that we have studded leather armor because people wrote the game like way back when that didn't really know a whole lot about armor, perhaps, right? And that myth of studded leather has persisted, throughout time, and it's not being corrected. It's just like the vestigial organ of D&D. It serves no purpose and is messed up and should just be cut out, and yet it just persists and we still have it. Beware of penguins bearing swords. Yes. What is the worst session you've ever been in? Luke, what's the worst game session you ever been in? I can tell stories. All right, I will regale you with that story. the worst game session that I've ever been in. And moderators, if you could put a timestamp in chat for this, I don't know where it is. I pulled it out of chat, but please make sure it's in the spreadsheet. Thank you. The worst game session I've ever been in. This was back when I was in college or recently graduated from college. And one of my friends invited me to this game. He wasn't the dungeon master, but somebody else was who I didn't know. And there were two things, I believe, that defined this as possibly the worst game session I've ever been in. The first thing, the very first thing that I recall happening that drove me absolutely bonkers was that we were in some sort of combat, and it was the wizard's turn. It was her turn. And she was looking through the book, trying to decide what spell she was going to cast, flipping and looking, and then asking, oh, maybe we do this. And then this person comments and that person comments and the person gives a suggestion, and we're flipping and we're reading, and well, this spell does this, that, and the other. Well, no, that's not probably a good spell. We'll flip some more. Oh, that's a good suggestion. Let's see what that spell does. Well, if you put it here and you put it there, oh, but that's going to hit these people. Okay, well, let's not do that spell. Crap you not. Crap you not. We were sitting there for about 20 minutes for her to decide what spell she was going to cast. And from what I could see just by reading the room and looking at people, this appeared to be quite normal. I didn't see anybody getting frustrated or upset or like, let's go, what's going on? Nothing. It was just, this is normal. We're just going to sit back and wait for 20 minutes for the wizard to decide what spell they're going to cast. No worries. This is fine. This is great. So that was the first thing in the game where I was like, are you kidding me? What is going on here? This is how you play the game? Ugh. So that was not very good. That was the very first thing. The second thing that happened, this is even better. This is even better. Dungeon Master is like, okay, you guys are going to be traveling across country. You have to go from point A to point B. Because, you know, you got the mission here at point A, and then the quest takes place over here, but you got to get there first. And so we're going to role play getting there, which is fine. There's not a problem with that. And so he's like, all right, role play, describe. You see videos about making travel interesting? Yeah, not what this guy was doing. No, not what this guy was doing. So anyway, he's like taking some time. We're role playing, traveling, which let me tell you was riveting. Absolutely riveting. And it was even more riveting when we got to the clincher, the really dramatic part. There was a river, I tell you, that needed to be crossed. And how? The Dungeon Master asks us, are you going to cross this river? Well, now here's a conundrum. How are we going to cross that river? Well, we have a druid. The druid can turn into a massive turtle, a tortoise, and he can then ferry us across the river. Ha 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 ha! We have overcome your obstacle. The druid will take us across the river on his back as a giant tortoise. And so there are like, let's say there are 6 of us, and then the dungeon master's like, but wait a second, hold on. The druid can only take 2 of you across at a time. He can't take all 6 of you. So you're gonna have to decide who goes across first and who waits their turn. We think about it, we consider it, and we decide the first 2 people, they're gonna go across on that druid's back. The turtle takes those 2 people across the river. They disembark and they wait there. The turtle comes back across that river, picks up 2 more people. And I'm like, what's gonna happen? The party has been split. We've been divided. What's going on? Are there monsters waiting in the trees? Are they gonna attack the people that are over on the other side first? Are they gonna attack the people that are waiting here for their turn? Is something in the river going to get the druid and the people on his back? And then we, having no way to really navigate this river, have to rush in and try to save them. I was getting excited. Things were starting to pick up. Something cool was about to happen. The druid takes these 2 people across the river. And now we have 4 people on this side and 2 people over here. And the druid goes back across. And these 2 people get on his back. Surely now is the time. Now must be the time when those monsters are going to strike. And the druid takes them back across the river and they disembark. All 6 people are together. And the druid shape changes back into a person. And we continue traveling. We spent at least 30 minutes, if not more, role-playing the crossing of a river. I mean, hey, I signed up for a high-stakes fantasy adventure game with monsters and magic and combat and stuff like that. That's what I bought my ticket for. Instead, I got crossing a river. Some of the most riveting, suspenseful stuff that you're gonna get in a game, crossing a river. And I gotta tell you, I was excited because I thought this dungeon master was actually gonna do something crazy awesome. The opportunity was right there for something awesome. My expectations were like up here and then bam! Nothing. We're just role-playing traveling, ladies and gentlemen. We're just traveling from point A to point B. So those are the 2 things that define probably the worst game I've ever been in before. Thank you. Yeah, the Dungeon Master. I was only in one game session with him, so I can't really... It's hard to judge a game master based on one game session. You really can't tell. They could be amazing and have a bad night. You know, that dungeon master, who knows? That dungeon master could have been talking with that wizard constantly about, you know, we need to improve on this. We need to take things, you know, we can't, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. And who knows, role-playing crossing that river, maybe the group enjoys doing that. Maybe literally the players were like, yes, we like this sort of gameplay. And so the dungeon master gives them that sort of gameplay. It's possible. I don't know. So I don't want to judge too heavily somebody else's game, and especially only being there once, you know. But for me personally, from my perspective, that was absolutely the worst game session ever, and I would have not gone back. No way. There's nothing there to compel me to go back, and there's every reason for me to run. But that's just one person's perspective. Apparently there were other players that loved that because they were there and they probably stayed there. Now, maybe it's a case of not being able to find any other game, so you just kind of stay there, or other games being even worse, so you go back to that one, even though, hey, it's not ideal, but it's D&D. I don't know. I was just a guest. I didn't say it. I'm not gonna like be like, you suck, you know. I'm just, okay, that was bad, thank you, goodbye. Sean Shepard says, I can relate, Luke. Role-played traveling for 2 hours to get stomped by a dragon in 10 minutes that we were far too underpowered to be fighting. Well, that sometimes happens. Because, yeah. Danny says Luke doesn't like turtles. Confirmed. I don't have a problem with turtles. I have a cool turtle story for you too, but I can't tell it on stream. By the way, oh, hey, Rob Makowski, thank you, sir, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Question is, oh, let's see if we can find this over here. Well, I don't know. Can you, whoever moderators, mark his question as answered over here, please, on the spreadsheet, because I can't find it. Our super chat should be there. It is. Okay, I see it now. In a special color, I couldn't see it. Anyway,
I'm having a hard time balancing encounters with my 7th level group. 2 wizards and 1 rogue. 5 rogue, 2 wizard, and 1 rogue. What are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do with that? Your group? Oh, you gotta be kidding me, dude. So this is the group makeup. There are 2 wizards. There's somebody who is a rogue wizard splash. And then there's a rogue fighter splash, but it's only 1 level of fighter. So you, in all essence, you have 2 wizards and 2 rogues. You have 2 wizards and 2 rogues. And you're having trouble balancing encounters. Well, yeah, you are, because everybody, they made characters that are squishy as crap and can't take a hit. And if they get bad guys in their faces, things are going to go south very, very poorly. With their encounter makeup, you're going to have a really hard time. I can show you online programs and stuff that are going to help you create balanced encounters, but the crux of the issue here is not the math. The crux of the issue is that they've created a pretty poorly balanced adventuring group. Their adventuring group is not really made up of people that can handle the standard things you're going to run into in the game world, in any world. This is something that I tell my players. I say, you're welcome to create any characters that you want, but my game world is not going to change based upon your decisions. In other words, most creatures in the game world are going to be frontline melee fighters because historically that's what they were, or they're going to be ranged fighters like archers and stuff like that because historically that's what they were. Or because we're also in a fantasy world, they're going to be wizards or clerics. Some of them are going to be wizards or clerics, but the majority of creatures are going to use melee weapons and ranged weapons like arrows and stuff. That's what's going to happen. And then you're going to have some wizards and clerics. My world, the facts of my world, the physics of my world don't change based upon how you choose to make up your party. So if you guys all decide to be wizards, I'm not going to stop you from doing that, but neither am I going to adjust my world based upon that decision. You are all going to have to figure out how to make that tenable. You need to figure out what to do when you have 5 orcs in your face swinging axes. You need to figure that out. But we only got 15 armor class, and that's with mage armor. I know. But you guys decided to do that. You decided. It's like me traveling to Alaska where it's super cold and making a decision that I don't wear clothes. That's not very smart. You might want to rethink that decision. So the reality of the world being freezing in Alaska most of the time, I believe, never been there, it's not going to change just because I decide that I have some moral imperative to walk around buck naked. It's not going to change. So in the same way, I tell my players, you guys can run whatever you want, but my world is my world. The things are the things. And they are what they are. You all need to problem solve and figure out how you're going to deal with it. And it sounds like, my guess is they're not probably figuring that out. And so the things that are in Out of the Abyss are your standard encounters, which is fair, and they probably should be. And they're probably eating them up because they have a bunch of wizards and rogues. I would argue that is not my problem as a dungeon master to solve. It's not my problem to solve. That's my player's problem to solve. This is your role-playing challenge. How do you run a party of 2 wizards and 2 rogues and make it work? That's your problem to solve, not my problem as the dungeon master to solve. That is the stance I would take. Now, you could rebalance all your encounters and make them something that party could handle. That would probably be the nice thing to do. But I don't think that's necessarily doing them a service in a way. I think that I would rather challenge them to say, hey, this is the world, you figure it out. But you could just rebalance everything too. That's up to you. But you're definitely having problems for a reason.
Melinda Gessler, thank you so much for becoming a member. I really appreciate that. Very, very cool. All my members get priority in their questions too, by the way, on the live streams. My moderators give you a special flag. It didn't get answered. Oh my gosh. And then I make sure I answered your questions. Peter Ron says, most epic death. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Peter. I don't know. I have died so many times when I'm a player. Like, usually my goal is to not survive long. I get bored. I usually get bored pretty quickly with PCs that I play, so I don't mind dying at all. Now, I will say that my exception right now is my monk that I'm playing in Goliath Cleric's game. I love my monk. Oh my gosh, my monk is so much fun. I love my monk. This is probably the first PC that I don't want to die. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna die in the next game session. And I'm just gonna roll up another monk. It's so much fun to play a monk. Man, at the higher levels. We're like level 7 or something. It's getting fun. Lower levels, monks are just garbage, but they come into their own. So it's a lot of fun. But I don't remember my deaths. I can't possibly remember every time I died. That's just crazy. And most of my deaths too aren't epic at all. Most of the times that I die is because I do something very stupid. I am one of those players that just likes to poke the bear. I like to do dumb stuff that causes action, that makes things happen, you know? So like, I'm the one that says the thing that you shouldn't say to the Archmage of Waterdeep, to the Blackstaff herself. I'm the one that says it. Why? Well, because I know that it'll make something interesting happen in the game. That's why. Now, I try to be careful that I don't often do things that screw over everybody else. I try. I can't always promise that, because there's a line, right? If you're doing things that are so stupid and foolish that everybody else is suffering for it, that can make the game worse, right? So I try not to do that, but I don't know how successful I am, because I'm probably a problem player in some way. Lots of fun though. But Zach, by the way, I gotta tell you, I had this thought. We played last week, Zach, and I had a blast, dude. I had so much fun just sitting there hanging out with you guys. It was amazing. I loved being, I'm really liking being in that game, dude. And especially last week, I just loved it. I loved it, dude. I can't tell you how much it was. I mean, you're doing a great job running the game. I think it's the players, the camaraderie, the playful bickering back and forth and stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in that game. So I'm really, really enjoying that. So yeah, that's very, very fun. And usually I don't like being a player, but I am for that game. Yeah. Kirby, my man. Dude, Kirby, you are epic. Thank you so much, dude. Kirby, $50 tip. That tip goes directly to Canines for Warriors. They're the charity that we're currently raising money for. Our goal is $500, and we're about halfway there. They basically, they take service dogs from what they call high kill shelters, where they would probably be euthanized. They rescue these dogs, they turn them into service dogs, and they give them to veterans who are suffering from PTSD and other mental health stuff. And there was some other couple things that were like qualifiers for who gets these dogs. But basically, they're helping our veterans out in a real way. And so we're trying to raise $500 for them. All tips go directly to them. And there's a link right there in the chat for the tips too, if you'd like to tip. So thank you very much, Kirby. I really appreciate that. Kirby is like our mega tipper. I'm so appreciative, dude. Almost every stream, he's like, here's some money. Here, hey, help that charity, help that charity. That's so cool, dude. Thank you, man. All right. We got some super chats and more questions coming in, and we are going to get to those. We do need to take our break though. We're going to take a quick little break here. I'm going to get some more coffee. And oh, by the way, we have a giveaway going on. Sign up for the giveaway. I'm going to go, so you'll have some time to sign up for the giveaway. There's a link in chat. It's a D&D book of your choice, or you can get some stuff off the DM Lair store, Into the Fae PDF, back issues of Lair magazine, standalone adventures. We have map packs, digital maps you can use in virtual tabletops like Roll20 and stuff like that. So lots of cool stuff. Enter the giveaway, and we're going to do a cat strike. Right here is the cat strike. Oh, you can see them running. They're ready for this. But before we do the cat strike, we're gonna do a quick message from our sponsor, which is Lair Magazine. Because Lair Magazine is amazing and you should check it out. This content is brought to you by Lair Magazine. Are you a busy dungeon master without enough time to create content for your D&D game? Would you like professional, pre-made 5th edition adventures and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? If so, Lair Magazine has exactly what you need. Every issue of Lair Magazine comes with 2 5th edition adventures, maps designed for use on virtual tabletops, and other dungeon master resources. New monsters, puzzles, traps, magic items, NPCs, pre-made encounters, and more. Become a DM Lair patron today to get a new issue of Lair Magazine every month, along with loads of bonus content, such as additional 5th edition adventures and map packs with even more digital maps. DM Lair patrons also get extra perks, such as playing in D&D games with me, voting on the videos I make, access to my VIP Discord channel, a monthly video hangout over Zoom, and more. Click that link below to learn more and become a DM Lair patron today. All right, did you guys hear that? My cats were getting too close to my dog, and the dog was like, you probably could hear that. And then one of my cats is very protective, and anytime anybody's fighting, she's like interceding and trying to stop the fight. I kid you not, it's amazing. She went over to the dog and was yelling at the dog, like, don't you be trying to bite my friends. Okay, anyway, we're doing the cat strike now. Let's go to the kitty cam. They are swarming. They are swarming. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right. All right, I gotta get some more coffee. I'll be right back. And I might show you the Chihuahua too. My dog is watching all the cats eat their snack, and she wants something too. Charlie Brown, what's up, dude? Yes, I got a dog. I'm about to show you. By Crom, that's too many animals. Yes, Devin, it's a lot. We take in rescues. We love little dudes. We have a squirrel too. The Chihuahua probably has the same hit points as the kitten. Yeah, the Chihuahua is smaller than our cats, but she is fearless. She is fearless. She goes right after him. A pupper cam? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have that many cameras. I already have 3 going on, and that's like, I'm running out of USB slots. You're demand. Penguin Butt says we're all demanding puppy cam and puppy strike too. You miss seeing the squirrel? I never showed the squirrel, did I? I can show you a video of the squirrel if you'd like. I'd be happy to show you a video of the squirrel. Let me pull it up really quick. I just took one recently of the squirrel. I'm sure I can play it for you. Let me find it. Oh, yeah. Here we go. I should be able to play this. Yeah. All right, here we go. We're going to go to the squirrel cam. All right, we're going to the squirrel cam. This is our squirrel George. This is a video of him eating. I don't know what we gave him. We gave him something. He basically has taken over our 3-season room. The entire room is his. That's where he lives now. He's gonna be released in the spring. Actually, I think you can see his little house over to the right here. Hold on, let's go over. He's like, woo! That is his house right there. That big wooden thing. So on the other side, there's a hole where you can go inside that. And the idea is that this right here will go up into a tree, like 10 feet or higher up in a tree, and get like affixed to the tree, and that'll be where he lives. And we have a tree picked out for him too. And so in the spring, once it's not freezing, we're gonna put him out there, and we're gonna get our 3-season room back, because he literally takes the whole room. It's his playhouse right now. Yeah, it's not good. All right, you guys want to look at the puppy? I'll show you the puppy, and then we'll do more questions.
What's up, baby? What's up, baby?
This is the puppy.
Yes. I'm the puppy. I'm the puppy. Yeah, hi. I'm the puppy.
She is still getting accustomed to us, and so we're pretty sure the son of the previous owner was mean to her, probably yelled at her a lot and stuff. So she like trembles and stuff. She's afraid you're gonna hurt her. So we're still getting her accustomed to us. So yeah, but she's good. She's doing better. She's got a vet appointment in a couple weeks. My wife was looking at her teeth, and some of her teeth don't look to be in good shape. So we're gonna take her in and probably I don't know what they're gonna do about teeth. The teeth look bad, like they're rotting or something. So anyway, she's getting taken care of now, and she's spoiled. She basically hangs out with me all day long, right next to me, and I take her outside and walk, and yeah, she's basically my little companion now.
You go back down here? Yeah, you.
All right, and then I'm gonna give her some treats too.
Would you want some treats? Yeah, the treats.
I gave her a treat. Right now we're working on house training her to go outside. And so every time she goes outside and does her thing, she gets a treat. All right, that was the puppy strike. Oh, her name is Zoe. I think we're going with Zoe is the official, perhaps, declaration. Her name was Samantha. Like, her when we got her, the owner had named her Samantha. That's a human name. You know, I want like Deathbite. You know, like Razor Cloud. I want some cool name for a dog. Not Samantha, so I don't know. Zoe, I guess, is better. Death Cloud. Death Cloud. That'd be awesome. Yeah. I just call her Doggo or Doggy or Baby. You know what? I call her Baby a lot. I actually do. I call her Baby most of the time. All right, let's keep doing some questions and stuff. Looks like we have some super chats. Let's hammer some of these bad boys out. All right. Let's see. Jish Bashin, thank you, sir, for the $5 super chat. Says, hey, Luke, any tips for writing notes during the session? Before and after are good, but during I have trouble trying to listen to players. You have trouble writing the notes, you have trouble listening to the players. So all I can tell you is what I do, I suppose. Most of the time, I try not to write notes during the game session, because if I'm writing notes during a game session, I'm essentially putting a pause on my game, because I can neither listen to my players telling me they're going to do something. I'm taking notes. I'm focusing on taking notes. So they can't talk to me about something they want to do, and I can't be describing to them something that's happening or adjudicating something that's happening. And so basically when I'm taking notes, the game is paused. Unless the players happen to be role-playing with each other, which doesn't happen as frequently as you think it would, or whatever. It doesn't, most of the time it doesn't happen. So they might be talking about something that has nothing to do with D&D, but they're probably not playing the game. If I'm doing something else, they're probably going to be just waiting for me to get ready to go again. So I try to minimize the amount of notes that I take during a game session. I try to keep them. I take notes on things that I think I would forget otherwise. And that's it. If something's happening, something important happens, like for instance, we're in Curse of Strahd right now, and some of the players have begun taking the dark gifts. And when they take a dark gift, well, first of all, we leave the room and I tell them what's going on. And then it's secrets. Woo! But then I'll come back and I'll take a quick note, because I don't want to forget it. It's super important and I might forget. Those are the sorts of things. That's my criteria. If it's really important, I think I'm going to forget, then I write it down right there in the moment. Otherwise, I wait until after the game session. And then literally, if you ask my players, they're going to tell you that when I say the game session's over, the first thing I do, I don't take down anything. I don't clear my screen. I don't take down the audio equipment, nothing. I say game session's over, we're done for tonight. And I start taking notes. That's the first thing I do when I end a game session. I have it in OneNote. I just write down stuff that happened, things that I remember, boop, 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 immediately. That way I can minimize the amount of notes that I need to take during the game session so that I'm not interrupting play by doing so. So that's what I do. I don't know if that's helpful for you. Perhaps it is. Lucas Gallegos, thank you. Gallegos? Maybe it's Gallegos? I don't know. Lucas Gallegos, thank you, sir, for becoming a member. I do appreciate that. Just as a reminder, my channel members do get priority on their questions for the live stream. My moderators give them special colors so that I can see them. I'm being bad about paying attention to the spreadsheet right now. My moderators are probably going to yell at me. Penguin Butt's going to have a talking to me. I'm not looking forward to that. She's terrifying. She's like a little ball of death. Sorry. Anyway, in other news, Coulter Wilson, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. Let's go find this. In your opinion, what are the 3 worst class subclass options? And what engaging, wacky encounter would you prepare for that party of 3? Oh gosh, I'm not gonna be able to answer the last one. That's like a question of creativity. Questions of creativity are rarely well answered on a time constraint, which is what we have here. The worst class or subclass options. Well, the original Ranger pretty much sucks. I think that's kind of a known thing. There's a barbarian. What is it? The Berserker Barbarian? What's the barbarian option subclass that nobody takes because it's so bad? It has one where you can do a special thing, but then you gain exhaustion afterwards, and so it's so stupid nobody ever does it. What is the name of that? Is it the Berserker Barbarian? I'm having a hard time remembering. But that one's really bad. Paladin is amazing. Cleric is really good. Wizard is good. Rogues are spectacular. Berserker, it is. Gosh, what is the other class or subclass that's really bad? Bards? Bards are a personal preference thing. I don't like bards, but I don't think they're bad. I just don't like them to play for me, a player. I just think they're boring as crap. Four elements monk. Yeah, I don't like those. Using key points to do all that stuff. It's like, I do just as much damage with my fists. Why would I use a key point to do something that does just as much damage? Like if I want to use a key point, I want to do something special, something extra. So yeah, I never quite got that. The thief rogue. I agree. The thief rogue never appealed to me. Like the arcane trickster, that cool. And then there's the other rogue. What is the other rogue? There are three of them. There's the assassin rogue. Okay, cool, great. But the thief rogue, yeah, that never appealed to me. So those aren't very. But of course we're talking about optimal min-maxing stuff. That's what we're talking about. And that doesn't have to be the reason that you play a character, obviously. Although it does appeal to me. I kind of like that, having something that's really cool and can do cool stuff. But not everybody likes that sort of thing. So Swashbuckler is really good. Swashbuckler is tons of fun, very powerful. It's very, very nice.
Very, very, very nice.
Tanner says Elements Monk is absolutely trash. I need a name. Hello. I just dropped in. For once, I'm not at work when these streams happen. Sweet. Hey guys, I need a name needs a name, I think. Could we help give I need a name? They need a name. Let's brainstorm names. Death Cloud. Champion Fighter. Yeah, Champion Fighter is good. It's just doesn't have a lot of options, so it can be boring. Champion Fighter is my go-to recommendation for a new player. Like a new player who doesn't know anything about the game, and I don't want to confuse them with something that's too complicated. And, you know, I'll be like, yeah, Champion Fighter is a solid choice. And then once you get the feel of the game mechanics, if you want to go something more that more appeals to you, let's talk. All right. Kensai Monk isn't as bad as people think. I don't recall offhand what Kensai Monk does, but all right, there you go, Coulter. Yeah, let's get some answers for you. Oh, we're just working our way through super chats. Thank you, I appreciate that. SM, thank you for the $10 super chat. I do appreciate that. Yeah, let's find this over here. Oh my gosh. Oh. How would you design a 7 samurai or 13 assassins final stand for level 20 PCs? I immediately don't understand that question. Is 7 samurai or 13 assassins, are those referenced to something in pop culture? Like, is that a movie or something? Pop culture is my worst Trivial Pursuit category, so I don't really know what that means. They're on board for it and are expecting to die holding off an army. Tips for making it cinematic and glorious. There are movies? Yeah, movies I've never seen. Is it kind of like 300 where they're in a pass and a big army's assaulting them and they never get tired? Somehow in the movie 300, they never get tired. Who's ever been in physical combat? Like physical hand-to-hand combat? Yeah, you get tired, man. You get tired. I used to do jujitsu. You get tired. You, jeez. I love jujitsu too, by the way. That was so much fun. So if you're making a final stand for level 20 PCs, how would I go about doing it? I think it needs to be overwhelmingly deadly. It needs to be overwhelmingly deadly for sure. And I think at that point, if you're intentionally trying to give them a challenge where they expect to die and they're just going to hold it off as long as they can, I think that you need to have deadly encounters. I think you need to deal with waves of encounters. And I think you also really need to analyze the PC's strengths and weaknesses. And then you need to customize encounters that are going to attack their weaknesses and challenge them where they are weak. Now, this isn't something I would recommend doing for a normal game, because that could be a little underhanded. Obviously, it's metagaming, and you might do it from time to time, but I wouldn't ordinarily recommend that sort of thing. But if you're intentionally trying to make a challenging last stand for your group, I'm definitely going to analyze their weaknesses, and I'm going to find weaknesses. For instance, you have a high armor class paladin with cloak of displacement. Well, you have a bunch of area of effect stuff going off that disrupts that cloak. You have to target that weakness. You have wizards that are casting powerful spells. Well, then you have a couple of wizards that are enemy wizards who are counter spelling. Like you have to, or you have somebody who has an anti-magic globe around them, and they literally just run into the middle of the party and sit there with a high armor class, and then nobody can cast spells. You have to think like very carefully about how you're going to, specifically challenge them. So that is the thought process behind it. That is what I would follow the process to get there. And the specifics of that path you travel are going to depend upon your group and your players. So I hope that's helpful, but I know it's very generic. Joseph Pitalo and Kyle Vito, thank you so much for becoming members. I really appreciate that. As a reminder, channel members get priority in their questions, and I'm gotta go over to the spreadsheet because there might be some questions here I need to answer. Oh, there is actually. I see one now. Woo! I'll get that in a second. Melinda Gaisler says, thank you, Melinda Gaisler, new member. Wee! I have a character that has greater invisibility as a racial ability. What are they? A fairy dragon or something? They're like a fairy dragon? What character gets greater invisibility as a racial ability? A pixie or something? That's constantly in action. How do I balance that with standard adventuring? What character in the core rule books or the expansions or whatever, the splat books, gets greater invisibility as a racial ability? Is that a thing? Oh, you're playing 3.5 edition Pixie. Okay. Yeah, Pixie's the thing that came to my mind too. How do you balance it? Well, I don't remember how invisibility works in 3.5. I can probably tell you how I would balance it for 5th edition. You're always invisible. Well, my first response would be not to allow it, for balance reasons, but that ship has already sailed, so that's not going to be very helpful for you. The way that I handle it in 5th edition, and this may or may not translate well to 3.5, I don't know, is that when you are invisible, unless you take an action to hide and then have a good stealth check, people still know your general location. Like, I can't see you, but I can hear you and I can perceive you, unless you take an action to hide and then make a stealth check, and then it beats my passive perception check. And so that way, we at least know the square they're in, and you can go up to that square. You know they're in that general area, you can't see them, and then you can attack with disadvantage. And so at least then the enemies will know and different people will know kind of where they are, they just can't see them. That helps balance it a little bit. It also makes it easier for you to actually run the game, as opposed to being like, well, nobody can see where you are, we're just gonna swing everywhere, and it makes it pretty unmanageable. And unless you're trying intentionally to move quietly and be quiet, which could take some time, then I think it probably makes sense that people kind of have a general idea of where you might be based upon sound. It's not super realistic. Not being able to see somebody is huge. We rely on our sight so much that being invisible is a really big deal. But as far as game mechanics go, you can't make it too powerful because then it really throws things out of balance. So you might I know 3.5 has like modifiers like -2, -5 and stuff, as opposed to advantage, disadvantage. What I might do is have that racial ability of being greater invisibility. Maybe it just grants them people that hit them like a -3 or a -2 to their to hit modifier, or it grants the pixie a +2 to their armor class or something. I'm not sure. I'm just throwing out ideas. You're probably gonna in 5th edition, it kind of balances itself a little bit the way I kind of just described it. In 3.5, you're probably gonna have to goof with the modifiers a little bit, I think. But I'm not super sure because it's been a long time since I played 3.5. See, what I don't like about solutions. So anytime, this is what always happens. Anytime there is a character who has X ability, right? And that's a problem for the game. There's always like a segment of folk who are like, well, you know, if they're always invisible, you can overcome it by having the bad guys always have blind sight. Or the bad guys, you know, do this or that or the other that help negate that invisibility. And those sorts of solutions are just very unsatisfying to me. They're unsatisfying to me because it presumes a couple of things. First of all, it presumes that all of a sudden your bad guys all have blind sight, or they have all these other invisibility mitigation techniques that they're constantly using. That's very metagamey on the part of the dungeon master to suddenly start changing everything so that they mitigate the improved invisibility of the character. So that's the first thing that comes to my mind that I have a problem with. The second thing is that it doesn't actually solve the root problem. Like, let's look at what the actual root problem is. It's the greater invisibility. Let's do something to address that. Instead of like bending over backwards, come up with all these workarounds and things about enemies could do this, that, and the other, la 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 la. Yeah, we could do that. Or we could just say, hey, that ability is pretty powerful. Let's have a conversation. Let's figure out a way that makes this more balanced for gameplay. I prefer that method of addressing things rather than being like, well, you know, the dungeon master has all the creativity and resources he needs to overcome any problem. It's like, yeah, you could say that. Yeah. Let's put some more higher expectations and work on the dungeon master than they already have in running the game. Mommy. The giveaways, does it count for a D&D Beyond book? No, we're not doing D&D Beyond books for the giveaways. It's just going to be a physical book or DM Lair store credit. Okay, we got that one. All right, let's get some more super chats. Jasper's Pearl, thank you for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. They say, Luke, it's my turn to give you advice. Don't ever name any of your NPCs Titmouse. Okay, I won't do that. Thank you. I don't know what that means. My moderators are like, warning, profane. I don't even know what that means. Is that profanity? It went over my head. Well done, sir. Well done. You got one by me. I have no idea what that means. My moderators were trying to warn me too in the spreadsheet. They're like, Luke. I didn't see that until I read it. And then I went over there and I saw it. Sorry. Eli Richmond, thank you for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that, dude. Have you heard of the order of throwing it back? Nope, never heard of that. Sorry. I need a name. Hello. Thank you for the $10, dude. Hey, Luke, what's your name? Luke. My name is Luke. Thank you. Thank you for the $10. Oh, I missed a super chat. Zaichu, thank you for the $6 super chat. This is like a half hour ago. Sorry, dude. Sorry, I've been backed up. Players in my game are a bear barbarian, a paladin, a life cleric, and a warlock. And I can't challenge them. Any suggestions? That is so generic and high level. I don't even know where to start, dude. Like, what is the specific problem? Like, in what way can they not be challenged? They're just super powerful? Well, use higher challenge rating monsters against them. You know, use monsters that do more damage. I've never had a problem challenging my players. I just don't. Yeah. If they're stomping stuff, I give them higher more challenging bad guys. More bad guys that do more damage. Be careful with hit points. If you just increase hit points, then battles just get longer. And then they can just be slogs where you're just like, oh, he has so many hit points. Just keep hitting him. So many hit points. I'd much rather increase the DPS, the damage output of an enemy, to make it more challenging than the hit points. Because then you still have a very short, dramatic battle where it's like, holy crap, as opposed to a battle where it's just like, everybody keep hitting him. He's not dead yet. Keep hitting him. Yeah. So. I got that one. Okay, cool. I answered that one. This is the most important question ever. How is your Chihuahua? Spectacular. No fun allowed. How was your day today? How was my day today? I'm going to tell you how I define my days. I think there are two criteria that probably define how my day went in any given day. The first criteria is how much work I got done. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and get to work on stuff for videos, for Lair magazine, for all the content that we publish and that we create. I get up early and I'm working on that stuff, or I'm helping to manage the team of folk that help produce all of the crazy content, amazing content that we do. So one criteria to judge how well my day went and how good of a day I had is, did I get everything done? I literally have this black book right here that I get up every single morning, and every single page has dedicated to it. Well, there are different things I do in this book every morning. But one of the things that I do is I define my MITs, my most important tasks of that day. First thing in the morning, I decide what are the things that I most need to get done today, because they're time sensitive or they're going to help drive my business forward and help with that. And so those are the things. And so if I hit my MITs, if I get through them, if I accomplish them, that's a good day. Those are amazing days. I love those days. I feel so good those days when I accomplish the things I set out to accomplish on that day. And usually I have about 4 hours in the morning when I get up, from about 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. to just go, before I have to start going and doing day job stuff. And that brings us to the second criteria that helps define how my day went. And that is, how many pointless, worthless meetings did I have to sit in that day for my day job? And if it's 0, that's a great day. And we're talking about the worthless, pointless ones, because there are meetings that actually are useful. Usually, yeah, we'll not get into the details too much there, just in case somebody's watching that shouldn't be watching. But if I have to sit through a bunch of stupid, pointless meetings, that is not going to do well for my day. That's going to make me frustrated and upset because I could be doing something better with my time. So, answering those two questions for today. I got a whole bunch of stuff done this morning. I feel pretty good. So my MITs all got achieved. One of my MITs was the live stream, which we're doing right now. So yeah, pretty productive day. I feel pretty good about what I got accomplished today. As far as the stupid meetings I had to sit through, the worthless, purposeless, pointless meetings that fill corporate America, I had 2 of them today. And that's a lot. That's 2 hours of your life wasted that you're never going to get back, that served no real purpose. So that's a negative mark against the day. But of course, it's Friday and I got a couple days without having to worry about that kind of garbage. So, that makes the day go better too. It really does. Yeah, we'll say. Waffles Waffleson says, when we going full-time content creator? It's soon, baby. Soon. Sean Hannon says a meeting on how to increase productivity. Oh my gosh. You know, there is a book. I don't know if anybody knows who Peter Drucker is. Peter Drucker is a pretty well-known, we could say famous business person. And he wrote some books. And one of the books that Peter Drucker wrote, I forget the name of the book. It's The Effective Executive. I believe the name of the book is The Effective Executive by Peter Drucker. And one of the things that Peter Drucker says in the book is you're either working or you're in meetings. That's the quote. You're either working or you're in meetings. And so one of the things is to minimize the amount of times that you're in meetings, to maximize the amount of time that you're actually getting crap done. Unfortunately, there's a whole segment of corporate America that subsists on meetings. That's pretty much what they do. So, you know, working or in meetings. Those are our metrics. Anyway, but today wasn't bad. I'm happy with today. Harmina, thank you for the $5 tip. Dogs rule. Thank you so much. By the way, as a reminder, all of our tips go toward Canines for Warriors. We're raising money for a charity. They provide service dogs to veterans. So we're trying to raise $500 for them. All tips go directly to them. Thank you. I got a cat down here. She just wants attention. I've been literally talking to you and petting her with one hand. Like this whole time. You can probably see her. Yeah, you can see her in the cat cam. I'm sure you've been able to see her. Well, kind of, not anymore. I got this thing is like covering it up, but she's been right here. This is Mommy 1. It's literally her name, Mommy. Luke, have you thought about streaming a homebrew campaign in the future? Not necessarily like a show. Nah. I'm not really big on streaming my games. I know I did it for a while with Curse of Strahd, but that was mostly because we were playing remote. Like, you know, during the pandemic where the government was like, you cannot be together. We had to play remotely. So it was streamed at that point, but I don't like necessarily streaming my games. I will record them and then I'll put it, I still record our Curse of Strahd games and they go on my second YouTube channel, the DM Lair Streams. There's probably a link in the chat there. I'll record them so you can watch them, but I'm not really big on streaming them. I just want to play D&D and relax and have fun. You know, that's all I want to do. I want to get there with my friends. I want to play. I just want to relax and joke around, have fun and stuff, you know. And when you're streaming it, it takes a little bit of that way, I feel like, because you know you have an audience and people are watching and stuff. So you can't quite be yourself, you know, and there's probably, it doesn't bother me. Like, I don't personally feel any level of like camera shyness or anxiety or anything over being on camera, like because I'm used to it, first of all, you know, so it doesn't bother me to stream a game. Like, I don't care, but I imagine some of my players probably don't like it. In fact, I know one of them does not like it at all. He does not want to be on camera. He did it because we were streaming our game and crap and he wants to play, but yeah, I know he doesn't like it. So I don't, you know, want to make people who don't necessarily want to be in camera and feel that type of pressure have to do it. You know what I mean? And there's really no benefit of streaming it live either. Like, the metrics on live stream games are really bad. There's like, the ROI on it is non-existent. So there's almost no upside and lots of downside to it, you know. So I don't know. Yeah. Nystigium, thank you for the $5 super chat. They say the cat cam makes it look like Luke has a tiny hand. It cracked me up, that's all. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, because my arm goes right down. There's the tiny hand. I have to keep petting this cat. She wants attention. Melinda Gaisler, thank you for the $5 tip. I appreciate that. From one vet and PTSD survivor to another. Thank you. Yes, all tips are going toward Canines for Warriors tonight. Thank you so much, Melinda. Appreciate that. Okay, I'm getting behind on my super chats. Waffles Waffleson, thank you for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. They say cats are better than dogs. I agree. Jaspers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Luke, what's your favorite type of cleric? A dead cleric. Ha Target the clerics. Kyle Vito, thank you for the $5 super chat. Dude, I appreciate that. I didn't see a question with that. So I'll just assume that you're just giving money for the kitties. The kitties need their kitty treats. Does anybody else see a problem with this? Who is supposed to tell me when my coffee's empty? Is there anything in the sheet? Did any of my moderators tell me about the coffee being empty? Nope. I've been failed. Who's in the sheet tonight? Who's responsible for the sheet? Goliath Cleric says, I've never been so offended by something I 100% agree with. Oh, what? The best cleric is a dead cleric? Or what? I don't know what you're commenting on, but... That alert went out 30 minutes ago, says Amber. Well, I didn't see it, so it doesn't count. Okay, we got a couple questions here from members. Owen Davies, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? It's time for a cheesy merch plug. I think it's time for a cheesy merch plug. Okay, fine. My goodness, my cat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to wear wonderful DM Lair merchandise? Merchandise that will make your friends envious and ask you, wait, you've been a Dungeon Master since high school? Why, yes, I have, and you can read it on the back of my shirt. Fine DM Lair merch is available at the link below, and it will not only make your friends envious, but it'll make you the coolest kid at your school, in your college class, or at your workplace. Make your friends envious, make your workmates want your shirt. Yeah, link below, DM Lair merchandise. It's wonderful. There you go. How was that? Was there enough cheese on that? By the way, I make fun of the merch. There's Danny. Hello, Danny. That was for Danny. Danny's the merch king. She loves the merch. We also have, by the way, if you want some really cool Dungeon Master resources to use in your games, we publish Lair magazine every month to our patrons. Every single month, DM Lair patrons get an issue of Lair magazine. It's usually over 50 pages of DM Lair resources, of Dungeon Master resources, adventures for 5th edition with maps, digital maps that you can use in virtual tabletops. We give traps, puzzles, NPCs, villains, new monsters, magic items. We publish tons and tons of content to our patrons every single month. And we have bonus content. We have entire map packs of even more digital maps. We have city tiles that you can use to put together your own cities, construct your cities and stuff for your players. We have extra adventures as well. We have lots of amazing, cool stuff that DM Lair patrons get. Also, you can play D&D with me every single month. I run a one-shot, or in this case, I think Ed is running a one-shot for us in February. But you get to play D&D with me. Oh, there was a beeping sound. My batteries are done. So anyway, take a look. There's a link in the chat to the DM Lair Patreon. Might be cool. You might like it. Lots of really cool, awesome resources. Many of the people who help create the resources are here. Well, I should say we have a lot of people who help create the resources, but the core team, most of them are here. Penguin Butt and Goliath Cleric are here. Danny is here. I saw Mr. Owl in the chat as well. Ed is not here. He's running a D&D game. He couldn't make the stream because of D&D. What are you gonna do? So that's fair. I can respect that reason for not being here. And then we have lots of writers too that help write the content for us too. So lots of it's still empty. Lots of amazing people help write Lair magazine. All right, let's keep going. Kyle Vito, new member. Thank you, Kyle, for becoming a member. Appreciate that. He's got a question. Let's see. This cat. I gotta keep petting this cat. It's like all day long. One of my players would like to start DMing.
which is great. Which module do you think is great for a new Dungeon Master? Note, we've already run the Essentials kit along with the Starter kit. Sorry, I choked. Choked on my own throat. There was nothing in there to choke on, but I choked anyway. I have to recommend Into the Fae. Into the Fae is the module that we did in our last Kickstarter, and it was intentionally written to be super easy to use, either veteran Dungeon Master or a new Dungeon Master. One of the things that DM Lair products really try to emphasize is usability, readability, and referability. I made that word up. Ease of reference during gameplay. One of the things that I noticed, and I noticed this a lot I'm noticing it with this module right here, and I notice it a lot with most of the modules that Wizards and others put out, is that they write the module almost as though it were designed to be read, but not referred to. Like if you try to find, like you can read the module and it makes for good reading material, and it's got cool stuff in it, agreed. But if you try to reference the module during gameplay and find something, good luck. Because you have basically blocks of text that contain the information, but you don't have things that help you find the information that you are looking for. So one of the things that we do in Lair Magazine, and we did this in Into the Fae, is that, for instance, if there is a cabinet in the room, we have big bold text that says cabinet, and then it tells you what's in the cabinet. And then if there is a table in the room that has something interesting on it, we have big bold text that says table, and then it describes what's on it. If there is a chest in the room, big bold text that says chest and describe what's in it. So you can easily find stuff when you're running the game. Now, does it make it all nice and pretty and look like a book or something? Maybe not, but you're not reading a book. The purpose of a module is to be able to run it at the game table for your players. We want things to be findable, searchable, organized. You can find it and run it and refer to it as you're playing the game. The other thing that we do is we include encounter notes. So we don't just say there are 5 goblins in the room. We give you role-playing notes. What is the goblin's motivation? Are they just gonna attack? Or do they want to have a conversation? And what are they gonna say? What are they trying to do? Why are they there? So we have bullet list encounter notes. We have bulleted list role-playing notes. We try to make our products easy to use and reference at the game table. So it helps you prepare for the game, and it also helps you run the game. So I think that Into the Fae as a first module for a Dungeon Master is a good way to go. It's a level 1 to 5 adventure module. You can get it at the DM Lair store. There's a link in chat. If one of my moderators hasn't already put a link in the chat to the DM Lair store, you can get the Into the Fae Ultimate Bundle. And it comes with, and imagine this, it actually comes with image files of the maps. So you can put them into Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds and run them. You don't have to like go buy something separate to get the image files to be able to run and play online. It comes with all that stuff. It comes with tokens, little tokens of all of the custom monsters we made in the Kickstarter come with it as well. So lots of awesome stuff bundled in there for you. That's why it's called the Ultimate Bundle. And by the way, for those of you who did back the Kickstarter, you'll be interested to know. So the PDF, by the way, all of the digital stuff has been available for quite some time, and we delivered it to all of our backers in August. I want to say it was August of last year. But we have been waiting on our dear, lovely printers to print the darn books. I submitted the print request back in, it was either September or October. It might have been October. I submitted the print request and ordered the books and paid for the books, and it wasn't cheap, a while ago. And we've been waiting for our printer to print the books. And we've just been waiting and waiting and waiting. Today, I got the email that said your books have been printed and they have been shipped and they are en route. And so there are now 1,572 books that are in almost 100 containers, boxes, on pallets, of course, shrink wrapped, naturally, that are now in transit to our 3PL, the warehouse down in Florida, where our 3PL, the third-party logistics company who's handling fulfillment, is going to start shipping books around. So we have the books, they're en route. Fulfillment will begin
They're telling me, the 3PL is telling me that they're probably going to start fulfilling at the very beginning of March. I'm hoping that once they get these books, they can get things together in a couple weeks, and maybe we'll be shipping stuff out sometime in February. Oh, that would be amazing. But I'm an optimist. I'm always an optimist. They're telling me March, but I'm kind of like, maybe February. I'm an optimist. What are you gonna do? Anyway, that's a very good positive indicator. The books have been printed and they are en route to the fulfillment party. So very, very happy. Now I just have to pay them more money. So we had so shipping and logistics has gotten really expensive, guys. Rate increases are like going way up. So I paid, there's like a pre-fulfillment invoice you have to pay, like before we ship the books out. Like as part of getting them and having them do the fulfillment, I have to pay them before they actually ship the books. I think it was about $20,000. I think it was like $20,000. And then because we went into 2022, there was a rate increase because shipping costs are going up and they have to make sure they stay in business. It's understandable. And so they have to increase their costs. Okay, I get it. I'm in a business too. I understand how these things work. Like if you don't increase your rates, then you go out of business and then you're done. So I understand. So it was a 25% increase though. So now I got to pay another $5,000 to them. And that does not include European shipping either. We still have to freight the books over to the UK. And then I have a fulfillment partner over there who is going to be shipping things throughout Europe. And then their shipping over there is probably going to be about another $5,000. So yeah, running these Kickstarters and shipping and stuff, it's expensive, obviously. That's why you have to charge people for shipping, because it's really expensive. But it's crazy because there's like so many little moving parts and things you learn along the way. It's complicated when you don't know it, and then you start to learn stuff. And then you understand it better, right? This always seems like it's a learning process, but it's really cool. It's cool to go through that journey, and from the beginning when you know nothing, and then producing this stuff, and then finally, like I have books. I have tons of books. Like I did my own. I ordered like my own little special quantities of it. So we have the books. I have physical books and crap. Just not like the big production run. That is the thing that just got finished. So, but it's very fun, and I'm very excited to see this thing see people finally get the physical books and not just the digital products. And then we'll put a fork in this bad boy, and then we'll do the next Kickstarter. Giddy up. Force a habit. Joe Stryker, thank you for the $5 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. Hi Luke, love your videos. Another oldie DM, like 1988, Thatco 2nd edition. Sweet. I literally started with Thatco in 2nd edition. Not 1988, probably more like 1996. If more likely, but yeah, about 1996. And your tips and videos are excellent. Just want to say thanks. Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that, dude. Really appreciate that. It always makes me happy to know that people are getting value out of the stuff we create. Very cool. Fred says, doing all hard copies, new Kickstarter. If that's a question, yes, we'll have hard copies for the new Kickstarter. Yes, there'll be 2 books. Fred says, I was a DM before Luke was born. Lots of people were Dungeon Masters before I was born. I was born in 1980, so yes, there are lots of people that were Dungeon Masters before I was born. William, you're very welcome, dude. No problem. I mean, there's nothing you can do but be patient and just wait. It's like, what are you gonna do? Am I gonna drive down to like the print place in like, where are they? Kentucky? I think they might be based in Kentucky, and be like, where are my books? Give me my books. Like, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna have to just sit and wait and be patient. Yeah. Nixit says, holy cow, I feel old. Nixit, don't feel old. You're cool, dude. DM Shroud started in 1977 with Traveler. Cool. Gavin Rocker says, I started 2 years ago. Awesome. Love it. C. Zachary says, 2 years younger than me. Owen Davies. Owen, you are young. I've seen you. You're young. Kentucky must fear the thing from the Lair. Yeah, they do. All right, let's do a cat strike. Oh, there's a coffee alert. That's a little late. Melinda Gesler says, are all of your materials for 5th edition? Yes. Everything that we publish is for 5th edition. So Lair magazine is for 5th edition. Into the Fae was for 5th edition. The stuff on my website, thedmlair.com, all the free resources there are 5th edition. We publish things for 5th edition. Yes, that's correct. All right, let's do a cat trip and I'll get some more coffee and then we'll keep on going. It's okay, baby. It's okay. My dog is skittish. Where's the banana? Where's the banana? Oh, I found the carrot. I found the carrot. Where's the banana? I don't know where the banana is. All right, well, I can't find the banana, so we're going to use these things right here. No, whoops. I don't know what this thing is. This used to be a cat toy. It has been demolished. And then we'll go with the happy carrot. But before we do the cat strike, which consists of giving legal addictive substances to my wonderful kitty cats, we have a message from our sponsor. This content is brought to you by Lair Magazine. Are you a busy dungeon master without enough time to create content for your D&D game? Would you like professional, pre-made 5th edition adventures and other resources you can drag and drop into your existing campaign? If so, Lair Magazine has exactly what you need. Every issue of Lair Magazine comes with 2 5th edition adventures, maps designed for use on virtual tabletops, and other dungeon master resources. New monsters, puzzles, traps, magic items, NPCs, pre-made encounters, and more. Become a DM Lair patron today to get a new issue of Lair Magazine every month, along with loads of bonus content, such as additional 5th edition adventures and map packs with even more digital maps. DM Lair patrons also get extra perks, such as playing in D&D games with me, voting on the videos I make, access to my VIP Discord channel, a monthly video hangout over Zoom, and more. Click that link below to learn more and become a DM Lair patron today. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get the happy carrot. Got some catnip on it. There. Okay, we got some customers already. Squeaky, of course. Squeaky is always on the catnip. And we have another one. Mommy 2 is looking at that banana, at the carrot.
What's up, doggy? What's my doggy doing?
My dog is like, what's going on over here? I'm gonna get some coffee. You guys watch Squeaky be adorable. I know, it's wonderful. at this guy. He's like a big ball. He's like a big beach ball rolling around in the catnip. Yes, Mr. Gore. That's what he does. That is the perfect way to describe it. Squeaky's catnip freak out. The giveaway is going to be in about an hour. About an hour, roughly. Are these streams available after they end? Yes, they are. They will be right here on my YouTube channel. You can watch them whenever you want. I don't take them down or anything. ZF, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? And Squeaky's just going to keep on being adorable. That is what he does. That should be a channel highlight. Robin, hello, how you doing? All right. Oh, that's gonna trigger a rant right there. Ellie says, what does it say on your shirt? It keeps being just out of frame and the people have to know. Coffee before questions. Coffee before questions. I just started running a game for a large group of 8 people. Any tips for managing game flow or just large parties in general? Scuba. Yes. I have an entire video on my channel about running large groups. My recommendation would be to go find that video and watch the video because I give lots of information in it, much more succinctly and well articulated than I'm about to here. I'm gonna give you the biggest tip that I can about managing large groups. And that is, you have to control the amount of time they take on their turns. When you have 8 people, each person cannot take 10 minutes to take their turn. The game becomes completely unmanageable and unplayable. You can't let them take forever on their turns. This has always been a problem historically, that players will tend to take a lot of time on their turns deciding what to do. And then you get the table talk and the committee conversations, right? Where the players trying to take their turn and everybody's saying, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? What about this? What about this? Oh, I don't know. What's the most? Ooh, wow. Ooh. And then the whole game just spirals down into the toilet of taking forever. I don't know. So the biggest recommendation I can give you is to really encourage players to take their turns in about a minute and then move on. They need to tell you what they're going to do quickly when you say it's their turn, and then you adjudicate and then you resolve. And ideally, you try to do that quickly so that there's actual flow and the game keeps on moving. And I have suggestions in the video I referenced on how to do that, and other things that'll help you with managing large groups as well. Do you let your players create a base? If they want to, yeah. My group is taking over a rundown town right now, and it's been pretty fun. Yeah, cool. That's awesome. I never stop my players from doing that, and a lot of times they end up obtaining houses, inns, and other places in town and near town. So yeah, it's always pretty cool. It's not the focus of the game. The focus isn't like, oh, let's look at our new inn and decide the furnishing we're gonna put in it. Let's plan out and go. That's not the focus of the game. But it's little side activities, things that happen that's pretty cool. And then they got to pay for things. They got to pay for maintenance. They got to pay for the guards. They got to pay for the staff. Yeah, you know, but that's like a, you know, a small part of the game. That doesn't take over the entire game because we're here to play Dungeons and Dragons. We want to go on adventures. We want to kill goblins. We want to swing swords and cast spells. That's probably why we're here. What do you guys think of this idea? A one-shot with a group of only clerics and paladins called the Amen. Very nice. Very nice, Tanner. Thank you. Gabriel says, touching the theme of pre-made adventures, how do you prepare them? Like, do you have a personal method? Yeah. So let me show you. So this is my Curse of Strahd game. Curse of Strahd game right here. We're gonna go to the coffee cam. This is the real reason I have a coffee cam, by the way, so I can show you stuff on my desk. It's not just to show you coffee. So I am going to show you what I do. This is for my Curse of Strahd game. So you can see here, I have a printout. I have a printout of the chapter that we're currently running. It's just literally, we're going through the Amber Temple, and so I have printed out the entire thing. And then my prep is I read through it and I highlight the parts that I think are important. Or in this case, I've highlighted like the names of rooms, you know, so I can quickly find them. And then here's the monsters. All of the monsters get pink. The pink helps remind me that I have monsters in different places. I have some notes that I'll write on the side. I did a little illustration here because I was trying to imagine what the inside of this statue looked like. And so I made an illustration. So I had a reference for myself. I highlight in green, treasure. Blue is usually like notes or something. There's a guy here that there was some role-playing notes that I wanted to highlight, and so I went and highlighted this. I'm basically trying to make this easy for me to reference while I play the game. And that's really, I just walk through here, I highlight some stuff, I take some notes on the side, and this is pretty much how I prep a pre-made adventure. This is really what I do. And prior to each game, I will glance through this stuff to refresh my memory about the different things in here. But usually with a pre-made adventure, once I've read through it, I've done my prep work, and then I've read it through it a couple more times, prepping for different games, then I pretty much have the stuff where I can run it and refer to it, you know, from time to time. I mean, I read the read aloud text to my players, so I'll read that and refer to that and stuff, you know. Here I've got some notes that I wrote about the dark gifts and how they work. But this is really, I mean, there's nothing special or spectacular about this. This isn't rocket science. I'm literally just printing it out, reading it, highlighting stuff, and taking notes. That's all I'm doing. There's nothing special here. Being able to print this out is very, very, very helpful. Very massively huge. If I couldn't print it out, I'd be making photocopies of the book because, yeah, I need this. I need the physical copy. So that's how I do it. Have you ever been to the Pensic War in real life? I haven't been to Pensic. When I was in SCA, the SCA, the Society for Creative Anachronism, when I was in college, like I have all the armor. I would go all the weapon practices and everything. I loved that. It was so much fun. Every Sunday after church was weapons practice. And so this is what me in college. So check this out. In college, let's pretend this is the campus. I lived here. My church I went to was here. And then the weapons practice was here. And so I crap you not. In college, I would literally put on my armor in my dorm and then walk to church wearing my armor because it's easier to wear your armor if you're going to transport it than actually carry it in a bag or something. It is just absolutely horrible to carry armor in a bag. It's way easier to wear it than have a big bulky bag. So I would wear my armor to church. I would take it off when I got there and put it aside because you don't want to look like a moron, but I'd wear it there. And then I'd get it back on, and then I'd walk from church to armor practice right after church. And then we'd have not armor practice, weapons practice. And then I'd walk back home, back to the dorm. And, you know, I'm sure I got weird looks. Here's a guy walking around in goofy armor and stuff. But you know what? It was the University of Michigan college campus. There are lots of stupid, weird people doing lots of crazy, crazy stuff. So a guy walking around in armor is really not that big of a deal. But that was my college life. For like, I did that for, I want to say it was 3 years. I didn't get into the ska until the my sophomore year. I started to get into ska, and then I started doing that. But for 3 years, that was me. Armor practice, weapons practice every Sunday. I loved it, but I never went to Pensick. Yeah, I never did that. It's the weight distribution. That's exactly what it is. Weight distribution. It makes it so much. And helmets. Oh my gosh. The helmet, especially. The helmet is heavy. And it is so much easier to wear that helmet than it is to carry it around. Yeah. Jeez, man. I have a little bit of coffee. Uh-oh. Little girl. Little girl. Little girl is here. Penguin butt. Look at little girl. You like little girl. Everybody's educated. Like, what's ska? And then, yeah, it's very cool. It's fun. It's fun stuff. Hey, Jeffrey Bell, thank you, dude, for the $20 super chat, man. Here's for U of M. Hooah! Let's do the fight song. Let's see if we can do this. Hail to the conquering heroes. Hail to the champions of the West. I don't know. I don't remember it. I never really sang it. You have to hail. There's a lot of hailing. There's like conquering heroes. There's the champions of the West. It's something like that. There's stuff there. It's a really good fight song too. It's a really good one. I just don't remember it. Sorry. I didn't go there for the sports. I went there for the education. I got a degree. Guess what my degree was in? I got a degree in creative writing and literature. University of Michigan, baby. I could have been an engineer. I could have been a software developer. You know, my math stuff was really good. I could have done any of that. What did Luke decide to do? Luke decided to be a writer. It actually paid off. It really did. Honestly, now it paid off. So I don't really regret that decision. But immediately upon graduation of having a degree in writing and literature doesn't help you a whole lot in the real world. There are lots of degrees that you spend lots of money to get that when you graduate, you realize that was a really bad decision. Or maybe I should have thought that through a little bit more rather than just going with my passion. Yeah. It worked out for me, but it doesn't always work out. So not a wise choice, but we figured it out, I suppose. Anyway. George Fenn, thank you so much, dude, for the $50 super chat, man. I really appreciate that, dude. Love the videos. Keep it up. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. This is weird. I love watching my own videos. I have a video coming out. What is it? Is it this next Tuesday? Hold on. Yes. The video coming out this Tuesday is hilarious. I love this Tuesday's video. You guys gotta wait for it. It's really cool. All right. Okay, here's a good question. Epic Dwarf says, are you ever going to make a full world of your own design? You know, it's very interesting that you should ask that, because we are literally right now in the midst of developing, little bit by little bit, a campaign world. We have started with a city called Grimstone, and we are slowly expanding as we go. More and more information about Grimstone. Grimstone is a city and we're just detailing the area around it, some cities that are nearby, the wilderness areas nearby. And we are publishing that in, which issue of Lair magazine is that going to be for? It's going to be in Lair magazine. It's not February. I think it's January, February, March. I think it's the March issue. I'm pretty sure it comes out in March. Goliath Cleric, do you know which month Grimstone comes out in? I can't remember, but we're going to be publishing it in Lair magazine, and not every single month, but we're going to be putting out we're going to slowly expand on Grimstone in Lair magazine. Now, I recognize that not everybody is interested in a homebrew campaign setting, and many of you already have a campaign setting of your choice, whether it be homebrew or a pre-existing one. So we're not going to fill Lair magazine with a new campaign setting. We're going to still have adventures like we always have, traps, puzzles, NPCs, new monsters. We're still doing all of that stuff. But we are going to start injecting little bit by little bit pieces of this campaign setting. And part of it is to give you guys resources that you might find interesting. But part of it too is that when we publish these adventures, it's very useful for us to be able to write an adventure and presume that it takes place in a certain city with certain NPCs that happen to be there. Because if you look at things that Wizard publishes, for instance, they are drawing upon pre-existing campaign settings, and that makes it easier for them to write those adventures. One of the things that we run into with Lair Magazine adventures is that because we don't have a campaign setting, a world that we can draw upon as we write the adventures tend to be very generic. Or not generic in the sense the adventure is meh, but they're generic in the sense that they don't have a city that they happen in. Like, we'll name a city, but there's not really any information around that city. It's just a word, it's just a name. And if you wanted to go find information about that city, it doesn't exist because we just made up the name because we had to. But now that we're starting to develop our own campaign setting with details and stuff, we can actually, in the adventures that we write, we can say, this adventure happens near Grimstone. And over here, there's information about Grimstone if you want it. And it happens in this forest. And over here, there's information about that forest. And so it's going to allow us to write our adventures and place our adventures in this campaign setting and just make it feel more like, it'll just feel more like it fits, like it makes sense. Which, of course, is helpful for some, and our writers especially. Of course, you can always just continue to take the adventures that are in Lair magazine and plop them into your own campaign settings, which is what people have been doing all along. It's what many people do to this stuff right here. They just take it out and they put the adventures in their own campaign setting. So anyway, Grimstone is going to be coming out in Lair magazine. There's a link to my Patreon right there in the chat. Every single month we publish a new issue of Lair magazine to all DM Lair patrons. They get lots of other bonus content too, like other standalone adventures. They get map packs with digital image files you can use in Roll20, things like that. You get city tiles, you get to play D&D with me, lots of cool patron perks. So if you're interested in any of that, there's a link right there. The Woven Mantis. Thank you for the $10 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. I find myself at a loss when dungeons in places filled with baddies like a demon castle. Tips or suggestions for making these places more interesting and not just tons and tons of combat? Yes. So I was literally designing a dungeon today, and I'm going to walk you through some of the stuff that I do to help make my dungeons not just full of combat. And this is going to be a very specific example, and you're going to have to probably extrapolate some of the lessons and points from it. But I think it'll help you probably think through this a little bit. So stand by. I literally made this morning. It was one of my tasks that I had. And by the way, anybody that is in my Ancient Dragon campaign, and Zack, that's you should not listen to this nor watch this right now because it will have heavy spoilers that will ruin your game experience. So yeah. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to, this is a map for a dungeon. You don't want to really have a dungeon or an adventure. I say dungeon, but really what I'm saying is a location-based adventure. It is an adventure that takes place in a location. In this case, this is a palace. So you don't want to have a dungeon or a palace or a castle or wherever where all there is to do is fight things. Fight things, fight things, fight things. So there are three pillars of D&D. There is social interactions, which a lot of people call role-playing, and I want to strangle them. It's not role-playing, the whole game is role-playing. Talkie, we refer to as social interactions. And then there is exploration, and then there is combat. So when I design a dungeon, I try to put all three of those pillars into the dungeon. I design it that way. So this dungeon has a bunch of bad guys in it. Now, this is a palace, and the premise of this palace is that there is a very powerful fiend in this palace. Let's just call him Mammon. And he is a fiend that is dedicated to debauchery and gluttony. And this and carnal pleasures, wealth as well, lots of wealth. So this palace is basically full of coins and other treasures, and it has feast halls. It has a feast hall in every single corner. And in these corners right here, the fiends in this palace are just feasting and partying the entire time. The central area has the throne room where Mammon himself is. And then there are kitchens off to the side with human servants who are constantly preparing food and serving food to the fiends, because the fiends are eating all night and all day without stop. So, design considerations. First of all, the objective of the adventure is to defeat Mammon. However, there are lots of bad guys all around here. So, this isn't designed for you to just simply go in and kill all the bad guys. You could just go around clockwise, kill all the bad guys, and then go in here and kill him. You could. It would be very challenging because there's lots of bad guys in here. But it's possible. But instead of that, what we have designed is perhaps an opportunity for more stealth, for more sneaking around. So that is an element of a different way to overcome and bypass encounters than just combat. That is baked into this. This isn't intended to everything to be a fight. A lot of these feast halls, you could just not do any of them potentially and just bypass them entirely. The other thing is these kitchens that have humanoid servants in there, they are there for a reason. Social interactions. These are people that are basically being enslaved by the demons, the fiends that live here. They're actually devils, probably more than demons. That the players, the characters, as they enter this palace, will have an opportunity to interact with. They will be able to talk with these humanoid servants. They will be able to say, hey, why are you here? Oh, you're slaves. Oh, we can probably help with that. Why don't you give us information about these bad guys to help make our lives easier? There is a social interaction right there. So I have baked social interactions into a part of this adventure. And obviously, anytime you encounter bad guys, that is an opportunity for social interactions. Bad guys don't necessarily just attack when they first see you. They might ask who you are, what you're doing there. They have motivations too. Next, exploration. A lot of people erroneously think exploration means traveling from point A to point B, and that is just not what exploration is at all in the game. Exploration involves poking around, looking at things. Exploration has lots of suspense, followed by a payoff. So, for instance, when you're searching for traps and secret doors, that's exploration. And then when you find a trap or you find a secret door, that's the payoff. You have found that thing and you were rewarded for your curiosity, for your poking around. So I have built into this dungeon some secret doors that you could find with guards behind them. So if you find the secret door, you won't be surprised by the guards when they pop out. There is a secret door that goes into the treasure vault, which has all of the real actual treasure. So you could find that and go in here and get some cool stuff. So I've designed some, and also, by the way,
simply the fact of moving around this dungeon, which is not linear, by the way, a very important design consideration for a dungeon, and has multiple entrances. Notice the front doors, notice the side doors over here. As you're moving around through this dungeon, seeing where everything is and deciding what you're going to do, and oh, bad guys, bad guys, bad guys, bad guys, that's exploration too. That is part of the active exploration. Obviously, there's going to be some combat in here too. There are a bunch of fiends in here. And so I have designed this dungeon very intentionally to incorporate all the pillars: social interactions, exploration, and combat, and not just be focused on combat. And so the answer really to your question is intelligent game design will help you to create the opportunity for something more than just combat to happen. That doesn't mean that your players are going to take advantage of that opportunity. They might still decide to kill everything and attack everything, but you have at least done your part as the dungeon master to design a dungeon in such a way that it won't just be you must kill everything. So that is my answer to you, sir. I hope that was mildly helpful. The moderator is in the spreadsheet on row 24. That was the question about the worst game session that I had. I really need the timestamp for that. Could you please find the timestamp for when I answered that worst game session question at the very beginning of the stream and put a timestamp in there for me? I would deeply appreciate that, because I really want to know when that was. Thank you. I just sent somebody on a wild goose chase. I feel mildly bad about that. Something broke the spreadsheet. Oh, the me talking about the worst game session? Oh yeah, that's absolutely going to be a dedicated video. I'll throw that up there. The worst game session I ever had, or I was ever a player in. The dream's gone. What's up, dude? My friend is running Curse of Strahd soon and was wondering about, I think it was your Insanity rules. Are they up somewhere? We are actually publishing Insanity rules in, which issue of Lair magazine is it? Zack, which issue do the Insanity? Hell, I can look it up for you. I'm always yelling at Zack. I'm like, Zack, Penguin Butt, one of you knows the answer to this. These are folks on my team, so they know these answers. Insanity rules are coming out in February next month. So in a couple weeks, we will have Insanity rules coming out in Lair magazine. So the February issue of Lair magazine features 10 new aboleths and aboleth spawn, and it has an adventure arc. I think it's called the madness. I don't know. There's an entire adventure arc that features aboleth and aboleth spawn, and it's designed to run. There are 3 adventures designed to be run together. You could run them out by themselves if you want, but they're designed to be run together, and they all feature the new monsters we created. And we put an insanity system in that issue of Lair magazine as well, so that you can run these new adventures with aboleth, which are kind of like mind-bending terror type stuff, with the insanity system. So yes, Lair magazine February will have the insanity system with a whole bunch of cool stuff about aboleth. So yes. You know, it's very interesting. Like, there are so many questions being asked, and it almost seems like it's a plant for me to plug Lair magazine.
But I crap you not, these are 100% organic, natural questions. These aren't like plants or anything. It's funny how the questions are coming up and I'm just like, yeah, actually Lair magazine does that. So. Melinda says, are you native of Michigan? Yes, I am. Melinda, and here I will prove it to you. I live right there. Now you know. The Madness of the Deep adventure arc. Yes, thank you. Zack, Goliath Cleric, Zack, he's like one of our lead writers, and he wrote that adventure arc, so he knows the name of it. He's like, Luke, yeah, right here. I know what it's called. I wrote the thing. Thank you. Oh, I think what did I miss? Oh, there we go. All right, let's hit some super chats. We have a couple super chats that are getting old. They weren't marked in here. Oh no, I didn't. I screwed them up here. Okay, here we go. The Will, thank you for the $6 super chat, dude. I appreciate that. I just realized I am not subscribed. I've been watching you for about 1.5 years and appreciate your work. Well, thank you, sir. That's the crazy thing about YouTube. I have channels that I watch their content all the time, but I've not subscribed to them because YouTube will put them. Well, they'll recommend me their videos anyway. You know. Which is fine. I appreciate it. YouTube is doing its job. They're showing me the videos I want to watch. I just sometimes don't click the subscribe button. Anyway, it says, keep it up, mate. Loving the content. All the love from Hungary. Well, thank you, sir. I'm hungry. Oh, country. Yes. I am hungry, though. You guys want to look up pictures of food or something? Thank you, dude. I appreciate it, man. You're awesome. All right. Gavin Rocker says, you've sold me, joining the Patreon after work. Look at me. Look at me with the sleazy plugs. Thank you, Gavin. You should not be disappointed. There's really, really cool stuff that we publish. Jonathan Geisler is from Big Rapids and used to go down to the gaming club of U of M in 1996 occasionally. I was in high school in 1996. Zack ate this morning? Well, that's good to know. How do you approach sentient items with a 10-foot pole? I don't know. Sentient items. I've used a sentient item once in a game, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I forgot about it most of the time. Like, yes, I'm supposed to be role-playing the sentient item, and it has its own motivations, and it can try to take control over a player, over a character. Yes, but I'll tell you what, when I'm running a dungeon, when I'm running monsters, when I'm doing this, that, and the other thing, like, I forget that I think it was Trevor's Paladin, the one that had the Cloak of Displacement. I think he also had a sentient mace. It might have been a sentient mace or something. I forget exactly. He had a sentient weapon, and I had notes about its personality and its goals and motivations and stuff, but I just always forget about it. And so it never ever became a thing. I just had too much going on to also remember that there was a sentient magic item. Like, we can't even remember who the hirelings are. Like, it is normal. It is, especially in my Ancient Dragon campaign, there'll be like an NPC that's along with the party, and like, we'll go through half a dungeon, battles and everything, and then we'll be like, hey, whatever happened to the NPC? And I'll be like, oh yeah, we all forgot about the NPC. So yeah, that's a thing. It's just like poofs. Oh, there he's been guarding the back the whole time. Storm Silverin, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that, dude. Members get priority in their questions, so if you're looking to get some questions answered, take advantage of that. Mr. Gax says, how do I make weapons feel more different from one another instead of just reskins of other weapons with similar damage types? Should I try to do this, or do you have advice against it? Yeah, that's not a problem I'm going to prioritize and solve, in all honesty. I
have played with different things, like 3.5 did this a lot. In 3.5, you had weapons that not only did different dies of damage, so you'd have like 2d6 damage or 1d8 damage or 1d12 damage, but they also had different critical hit ranges. So this weapon scores a critical hit on a 18, a 19, or a 20. This weapon only scores critical hits on a 20. And so there was a wide variety of weapons and things to choose from, and they all had their advantages and disadvantages. And it was cool, and you always wanted to use a rapier. I remember rapiers being amazing because they had a very good critical hit range. It was like, rapiers were like, I think maybe 19 and 20, and then you could take a feat, I believe, or the equivalent thereof in 3.5 to double the critical hit range. And so you could do critical hits on a 17, an 18, a 19, or a 20. That's really good. That's like, what is that, a 20% chance of a critical hit? Yeah, giddy up. And then I think it was a fast attack speed or something. I can't remember all the details. So that, I thought that was interesting and made for weapon considerations, even though everyone always picked the same weapons, because there are optimal weapons and those are the ones you pick. I'm probably not going to mess around with that in 5th edition. I did do, once I tried to do weapon speeds in 5th edition, and it just slowed the combats down. It just made the combats more clunky. Like, that is the last thing we want to do. The last thing D&D needs is slower combats. That is, so yeah, I think, and the thing is too, is that one of the things I like, honestly, about 5th edition's thing, where martial weapons usually do, one-handed martial weapons do 1d8 damage. One-handed, what do they call them? Basic weapons? I forget what they call them. They're not martial, but they're like just basic weapons where you don't have to have a lot of training. Those generally do 1d6 damage. And then the two-handed variety usually do 1d12 or 2d6 damage. And the reason I like that general approach is that it doesn't pigeonhole me into picking one weapon over another. When I'm playing a character, I almost always use a weapon that doesn't get picked a lot. Warhammers, maces. Those are weapons I really like because nobody uses them. Everybody uses a sword. And I pick those weapons because they're cool, they're different, and I like that. And because they do the same amount of damage as a sword, it doesn't affect my power as a player or as my character, which is something that I also consider. So I like having the ability to choose weapons that people don't normally choose, and it doesn't affect the power of my character. And so I actually think that is a good thing, me personally, in the game. My throat's getting a little messed up from talking for 3 hours. And I'm out of coffee too. We're going to water. We have transitioned to water. The net. The net. I don't know what they were thinking when they made the net in 5th edition. Like, it's a ranged weapon, but you have to be like, the distance on it is like 5 feet. If you're 5 feet away, that's the normal distance. And yet it's a ranged weapon. So like, if you're standing next to, you always have disadvantage. In other words, if you're using a net in 5th edition, you always have disadvantage. I don't know. I think somebody was like a little bit in the back when they wrote the net. I don't know. This is my personal opinion. Doesn't do me any good right there. What should I do if your players, say, are running a small fishing village and a trade town at the same time, alongside declaring war on a country and winning?
I don't know. If they're having fun, it sounds cool. It's your job to, as a dungeon master, to decide what happens and what the NPCs in your world do. I won't tell you how to run that stuff. I'll leave that up to you and your creativity. Matthew Thompson says, any VTT mods or plans on making VTT mods? We have toyed around with it, Matthew. One of our writers, Zack, has taken one of our adventures and put it into a Roll20. And right now, the last I knew, it was gonna somehow be tested out or something. I don't know if they were gonna run like a game for some of our moderators or something. I'm not sure, but we're kind of poking at it a little bit. I personally feel a little bad because I'm too busy to look at it myself. I'm got so many other things. So it's deprioritized on my list, but I know Zack spent a lot of time creating it. So I want to move that ball forward. I just don't have personal time to dedicate to kicking that ball. But we are poking at it. And something needs to happen with that because I don't like people doing work and creating something that could be very, very good only to have it ignored. So I don't feel right about that, but I have only so much time, and unfortunately, but we're looking at it. Zack says, I'm too busy to test it too. Yeah, I know, dude. That's because I keep giving you work. You have a day job you're going to be doing, and then I keep giving you work. Yeah, product development takes a while. Yeah. All right, here's a question. Did you watch Sly Flourish's video about what it takes to make it in the RPG industry? If so, what did you think? I did actually watch that. One of my, who was it? Dungeon Coach told me about it. Dungeon Coach and I are friends. We talk and stuff. And he told me about this video. And he sent me a link to it. And I went over and I started to watch it. And it's about an hour long or so. It's a long video. But I was working on some stuff, and so I listened to it. And so Sly Flourish, he's a small YouTube channel where he puts videos out. And one of the videos recently he did was about how to make it in the RPG industry. And he had a lot of really good points in there. There were lots of very interesting things that I would say that I agreed with about 95% of the points that he brought up in that video. However, there was one point he brought up, and it was toward the beginning of that video. If one of my moderators maybe can find the link to that video and throw it in chat, just in case people are interested, because there's a lot of interesting information in there. But one of the points he brought up toward the beginning of the video that I completely disagree with, that I think is absolute rubbish, is that making it in the RPG industry, writing, publishing, and stuff like that, is 90% luck. That is horse crap. It is not 90% luck. It is not. In my opinion, and this isn't just for this specific thing, RPG industry, this is probably for like things in general. People who fail at something often dismiss it as saying, well, I didn't get lucky enough. Or these other people, they made it and they had success because they were lucky. They got lucky. They got lucky. I think that people who don't achieve their objectives and don't achieve their goals and don't get the things that they want, even though they feel that they worked hard at them and they deserve them, they dismiss it as unlucky or not having enough luck. And that makes them feel better. I really think that is part of the excuse that we can tell ourselves to make ourselves feel better about not achieving that thing that we really wanted. We say, look here's this thing that I want. I want to be successful in the RPG industry. I want to write and publish things, and I've published things on DM's Guild and Drive Through RPG, and I've done this, that, and the other, you know, and I've done all these things, and I'm not being successful. I'm not making it. Well, that's because it's all about luck. It's all about getting lucky, and I wasn't lucky. And I think that spits in the face of everyone who makes it, who has success, and who has talent and skill and hard work and then achieves that thing. I think that making it in anything in life is a confluence of those things. It is probably some natural talent. It is skills that you have learned and honed over time, that you've practiced and gotten better at. And it is a small element of luck. So you have skills, you have talents. Oh, hard work. Hard work was the other one. There's hard work, lots of hard work. Lots of hard work. You can have all the talent in the world, all the skill in the world. If you don't work hard, you will achieve nothing. And then there is an element of luck. There is a small element of luck. But here's the thing. If you take somebody who has no talent, no skill, and they don't work hard, all of the luck in the world is probably not going to do anything for them. It's not. However, the people that make it have almost all of them, there are probably exceptions, right? People who knew someone who were family, they got the in because of who they were and their connections. That happens. But almost everybody is gonna have some talent, some skill they've learned. They're gonna have hard work, and then there's an element of luck. But the people that don't put the hard work in and don't have the talent and the skill, those people aren't just gonna get lucky and make it. They aren't. They just aren't. So I totally disagree with the whole 90% of making it in the RPG industry is luck. That is just not true whatsoever. You have to do the right things. You have to make the right decisions. Now, the truth of the matter is I think one of the things he was probably addressing is the amount of frustration folks probably feel because, you know, you're publishing things on Drive Through RPG. You're publishing things on DM's Guild, and you might be putting out lots of different things. You could be publishing, you know, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 things. You're publishing tons of different stuff, and you're throwing it out there, and it's not taking off. And so there's this level of frustration of why isn't this working? What am I doing wrong? And whatnot. And now I've seen quite a few things on Drive Through RPG that are absolute garbage. They're not worth the money you spend on them. I have not really bought a whole lot of things off DM's Guild, so I can't really speak to that. But whenever you have a platform that makes it really easy to do a thing, you're gonna have a lot of people that do that thing very poorly because there's no barrier to entrance. Zero barrier to entrance means that lots of people are gonna do something very poorly and put it there. So you're gonna have a lot of stuff that's just not well done. But then you're gonna have a lot of stuff that is well done. And so I think what you're gonna find is if you discount all the stuff that's just poorly done, that's never gonna take off. And then you take the stuff that is well done, well, it's very competitive. You have lots and lots of people putting their products out. The Drive Through RPG is full of products. Lots of people making really good products. And DM's Guild, I'm gonna assume, is the same way. There are lots of people on there making really good products. So you have hundreds, perhaps thousands of different people making tens of thousands of products on these platforms. And they're good products, let's say, because we're just throwing out all the ones that suck. And we're saying, here are the really good ones. Well, then the next question is, great, there are so many good products. How are people gonna find my product? How are they gonna get my product? Like, because there's so much competition. And I think that is probably the step where perhaps we stop too soon. We say, look it, I'm producing lots of products, I'm putting it out there, they're well written, they're edited, they're graphic design, I'm doing all this, they're really solid products, and they're out there, but they're not taking off, they're not doing anything. And why? Well, it's competitive, there are a lot of people out there. You need a way to let people know about your product. If you publish it out there, but it doesn't take off, well, that's because you have a marketing problem. People don't know about it. There's nothing that distinguishes you from the hundreds and thousands of other amazing products that are out there.
So I think that is probably, for people who are frustrated with the publishing thing, my guess is that is probably one of the elements that is not being capitalized upon, which is the marketing idea of a way to tell people about your products, a way to let them know. Now, some people like me and the Dungeon Coach, we have taken the long road of creating a YouTube channel that takes us 4 or 5 years to grow through lots of hard work and effort, week after week, year after year, to grow a YouTube channel, to have an audience of people that listen to us and maybe respect some of the stuff that we have to say. And then we can say, hey, by the way, I create products for you that you might find useful in your games. So there is a marketing strategy right there. It's a long road for a marketing strategy. Other companies don't do that. Other companies, well, there are companies that pay people like me, to market their products for them. And then you get sponsored videos. By the way, I never sponsor anything that I don't think is actually good. And I've turned away lots of companies that wanted me to sponsor garbage. And I say no to them. And then you have other companies that just do paid ads, like Google ads or Facebook ads and stuff like that. But I think marketing and getting your product in front of people is something that people are overlooking. And that leads to frustration. And that leads to them saying, well, I didn't get lucky. The DM's Guild algorithm didn't favor me and I wasn't lucky enough. Or the drive-thru RPG, I didn't get discovered. I didn't get found, and they blame it all on luck, on bad luck and stuff. And I don't think it's that bad luck. I think that there are things that you aren't considering, things that you perhaps just don't know about, you didn't try. And that is a huge thing too. It's not luck. It's not luck. You don't just sit back and do nothing and then get lucky and make it. There's a lot of, there needs to be some talent. There needs to be skill that either you have or you learn, that you develop over time, and then lots of hard work. And then there's a small element of luck. And in all honesty, I think that people who don't make it are the people who blame it on luck, right? I very much doubt that people like me that have spent years working hard on things and developing skills and talents and then publishing products will say, well, it was all luck. It was all luck, 100% luck. I don't have any skills or talents, or I didn't even work hard. I didn't do anything. It just magically happened. It was lucky. No, that's horse crap. It's not true at all. So anyway, that's my opinion on that. Most of the stuff was really good, really tight, but 100% totally disagree with that. It's not 90% luck. Nowhere even close. That's a no. But you can, Quasums, I'm gonna pound you, dude. Quasums is in chat and he says, I have no skills. Quasums, by the way, is my video editor. And I beg to differ. You have some amazing skills. That's why you have your job. Gavin Rocker says 10 out of 10 rant. Would agitate again. Well, thank you, sir. I do my best. I do my best. It is just such a lazy, it's a lazy excuse to say that it's all luck. It's such a lazy excuse. And it's unmotivating. It's unmotivating. Are you kidding me? If you have the mentality, that it's all about luck, how can you possibly be motivated to do anything with your sad, worthless self if it's all about luck? You're just like, oh, woe is me. I can't do anything to improve my life, to get anywhere, because it's all about luck. No. That is a negative mentality, in my opinion, to have. To think that it's all about luck and that you have no control over your fate. If you believe that you have no control over your fate, over your destiny, that you can't tip things in your favor, that you can't take steps to improve your life, to improve this, to get better at that, to possibly achieve your goal, if you believe that it's all about luck and that you have no control, that is just a bleak, abysmal outlook. I would feel horrible about myself and my prospects. Like, I don't have any control. I can't do anything to
tip the scales in my favor. It's just pure luck, and I might get lucky or I might not. That's horrible. That's horrible. Is that what you tell, like, you know, all of the people that like immigrate to different countries and stuff looking for better opportunities? Like, well, you know, it's all about luck. Don't even come here thinking that you're gonna apply your trade and use your skills and work hard to make a new life for yourself in this country or a different country that you might go to. Don't worry about that. It's all about luck. Don't work hard. Don't you have skills and talents? No, it's all about luck. Whether you succeed or not is about luck. Yeah, that is to tell people that. That's ridiculous. That's not motivating at all. It doesn't do anybody any good to have that mentality. Like, you need to believe that you can do something, that you have control over your fate, so that you will strive toward that thing, so that you will become a better person, so that you will work harder, so that you will have some optimism, an optimistic outlook on life and what you can do and what you can achieve. And you're going to be way better off. You have a higher, when you're optimistic about it and you're working hard and you're striving for something, you have a way better chance of hitting that mark and achieving that thing than if you have the opposite mentality of, woe is me, there's nothing I can do, it's all about luck. Well, then you're probably going to be in a negative space and you're not going to do the things that would help you to actually achieve the thing that you want. That mentality is not going to work in your favor. So that's another thing. That's your encore rant right there. It's a very bad negative place to be, to think that success in the world is all about luck. That's a very bad mental space to be in. And that would be depressing as crap if I lived there. It's still empty. Ian Hawshire says, do you got any websites or references for traps and puzzles? I'm sorry, I have to do it. TheDMLayer.com. We literally have crap tons, and that's a unit of measurement, of traps and puzzles. Go to TheDMLayer.com, go to the free DM resources section, and you can find traps and puzzles to use in your game. And they're very, very nice. Somebody gave me a coffee alert. Well, thank you. Tyler says, do you ever boost monster stats over what they have on their published stats? I asked chat earlier before the stream started, but curious about your opinion, Luke. Oh yeah, I boost monster stats all the time. I change those things all the time. Usually there are a few different things I look for. I want monsters, if I can, to have some sort of special ability, something they can do that is cool, that isn't just do damage. And so sometimes I'll create those. I don't always do those for like your standard run-of-the-mill mooks, like the standard enemies and stuff, but I definitely pay lots of attention to bosses, like boss fights, main villains. And then I'm going to be looking to make sure that they can do some cool stuff. I'm going to make sure that they have legendary resistances. I give them to them. If you're a boss at the end of a battle or at the end of a fight, you have legendary resistances. I look for things. One of the things that I look for a lot is stun immunity, especially if you're like a CR 15 or higher. You need to have stun immunity. You need to, like, it's a thing. Kobold Press does that in their monster books, like Tome Beasts, which I highly recommend. And nothing in the core books for 5th edition have stun immunity, which is crazy. The stun lock is one of the most unsatisfying ways to end a battle in the game. When you stun lock a big bad boss and everybody just surrounds him and beats him into oblivion, and there's nothing that boss can do. It is so unsatisfying. As a player, I would find it unsatisfying. As a dungeon master, you're essentially not even playing the game anymore. For a boss fight, it's just so unsatisfying. So yes, I look at things like that and I think of ways that I'm going to tweak it. Absolutely do that. Monks can stun mooks all day long. When you have a boss fight, you want a boss fight. You don't want a, oh, There is no boss. He's just dead. That's not fun. That is not fun. It's the same reason I don't use banishment on my players. It's the same reason I don't use force cage on my players. It's the same reason you see all of these really powerful changing spells that take the players out of the game. Not playing the game is not fun. It's not. Stun locking a boss and killing him in 2 rounds is essentially not playing the game. It's not playing the game for the Dungeon Master. The Dungeon Master's not playing the game anymore. The players kind of are, but they kind of aren't because they know it's over. Well, he's stun locked. He's dead. Every hit's a critical hit. Boom, you're dead. Yeah. No. That is the bad game mechanic that makes the game unfun. Yeah, it is. It is for everybody, in my opinion. Now, there are some players who are going to like it and be like, it's essentially not playing the game. It's the same. It's essentially, this is the reason where, have you ever had the adventuring group where like, they get the quest, they get the mission, and they're like, yay, we have a mission to accomplish. And then they're like, well, let's go to the city guard and see if they'll do it. And you're like, what? So there's this cool adventure, this thing, right? Yeah. And you're going to go to the city guard and see if they'll go do the thing. Yeah. Do you want to play the game? Because we don't have to. We can play a different game. But if you want to play D&D, like, there's an adventure you can go on. Yeah, but we're going to go get the city guard to do it. So you don't want to play the game. Oh, super chat. Oh, Jacob Clobberhorn, thank you for the $50 tip. That $50 goes to Canines for Warriors. They are the charity that we're trying to raise money for. Very, very appreciate that, dude. That was not an English sentence. Wookie Pirate, thank you for the $2 tip. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah, that's very true. Yes. If you don't prepare, if you don't do the things, if you don't work, and if you don't, then you're not going to get that opportunity. Absolutely. All right. You guys, I think we're done. We are over our time here. Oh, we have to do the giveaway. Yes, thank you, Penguin Butt. We're going to do the giveaway. Sign up for the giveaway. We are giving away a D&D book of your choice, or you can get something off the DM Lair store, such as Lair magazine back issues, Into the Fae Ultimate Bundle. We have map packs. We have, lots of cool stuff. Standalone D&D adventures on the store as well. So lots of cool stuff you can use in your games. So enter the giveaway, and then we are gonna pick a winner, and then we're gonna stop the stream. It's time to go sleep. My dog is sleeping right over here. She's just curled up. She's been there for like 3 hours, just sleeping, being good. Sleeping and being good. That's what she does. Give the Wookiee his cookie and the pirate some gold. Well, thank you, Sean. It's good, solid advice there. Nixit, you're very welcome, dude. I'm always happy that people have fun and hang out with us, man. That's cool. All right, I'm gonna draw the winner to this bad boy. Allura says, I can't wait to get into the Fae. I have maniacal plans for my game. Oh, that's cool. Well, yeah, the PDF version is available now, and then the books will be very soon. I think we should probably have these books out within a month or so. I'm hoping. I'm really optimistic. That's my character flaw. All right, we're drawing a winner. Woo! All right. Oh! Da, Dun, 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 dun. Let me just double check something here. Uh-oh. 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 All right. We have the winner. The new bad hombre. The new bad hombre. Are you still here, sir? The new bad hombre. Hombre? Hombre. 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 You won the giveaway, dude. Congratulations, buddy. Yep, he's still here. Sweet. Congratulations, dude. I will be sending you an email, and then you can tell me stuff about what you want and crap. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's literally a Wookiee pirate. Hello, Wookiee pirate. Wonderful. All right, I'm done, folks. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Probably got a video coming out tomorrow. It should be spectacular. All right, it's been great. I'm leaving now. Bye bye. Bye bye, people. Bye bye. Bye bye.